Hello, dear viewers. Support me by subscribing to my channel and share my video if you like it. And also, make sure you comment your thoughts. Now let's start the video. As they enjoyed the scenery, Kai shared stories about his Pokemon encounters with Chloe. Though she was new to Pokemon, she was quick to pick things up. Before long, she had a decent grasp of it all. They strolled leisurely until they reached Celadon City's edge. They had planned to skip the city, but unexpectedly ran into someone familiar. A beautiful girl, probably around 18, with long brown hair and a graceful vibe caught Kai's eye. It was Erika, the gym leader. She was kneeling by a flower bush with an Eevee trimming flowers with a basket nearby. As they approached, Eevee barked softly, eyeing them curiously. "Erika, what a coincidence! What brings you here?" Kai exclaimed. Erika stood up, her voice warm. "I'm gathering flowers for the gym. What about you two?" "Gathering flowers?" Kai said, surprised. He remembered Erika was not just a gym leader, but also a flower arranger. "I'm heading to the Indigo Plateau for the Pokemon League conference." Erika chuckled. "I thought you might take a boat from Vermilion City. I prefer wildflowers for their unique charm." She then turned to Chloe with a smile. "And who is this lovely young lady?" Kai introduced Chloe, and she politely bowed. "Hello, Miss Erika. I'm Chloe." Erika returned the bow gracefully. "Just call me Erika." Chloe blushed a bit while Eevee started playing with Chloe's Yamper, both Pokemon barking happily. Kai noticed Erika's Eevee and asked, "Is this Eevee new?" "Yes, I found it after a long search. Yours inspired me," Erika replied with a smile. As noon approached, Erika invited them to try her bento. Kai's eyes lit up. "Did you make it yourself? I'd love to." Erika spread out a cloth and laid out beautifully arranged dishes. Chloe admired her skills. "You seem like a lady from a prestigious family." Erika smiled. "Just call me Erika, or even sister if you like." She offered tea, and they enjoyed the meal together. Kai was impressed. "This is delicious. Where did you buy it?" "I made it myself," Erika said, chuckling. Chloe's eyes widened. "You made this? It's so elegant." The conversation shifted to Erika's Eevee. Kai asked about its evolution, and Erika explained they needed a leaf stone. Kai rummaged through his bag and handed her a leaf stone. "Here, you can use this for your Eevee." Erika was surprised. "Why do you have this?" "Just something I picked up," Kai shrugged. "Thank you, but Eevee needs to grow stronger first," Erika replied. Kai nodded. "It's yours to decide." After an hour, they realized it was getting late. "We need to reach Celadon City before nightfall." "Thanks for everything, Erika," Kai said as they stood up. "I'm sorry, but I can't attend your match." "I'll be cheering for you from home," Erika said. "That's okay," Kai replied casually. He was used to facing challenges alone. Erika bowed slightly. "Good luck on your journey." As they walked away, Chloe glanced back at Erika, feeling her warm gaze. They soon reached the outskirts of Celadon City, but a wide river blocked their path. With no boats in sight, they summoned Gyarados to cross safely. As the sun set, they entered the Vidian Forest. Chloe shivered at the sight of bug-type Pokemon. "Why are there so many bugs here?" she asked, clutching Kai's sleeve. Just then, a voice called out, "Hey, you look familiar?" Kai turned to see a young samurai leaning against a tree. "Ah, it's you." Kai recognized him from before. The samurai smirked. "Didn't expect to see you here again. Ready for another battle?" Kai admired the boy's dedication. "Still here? You must really love this forest." The samurai puffed up. "I've improved a lot since our last battle. My Pokemon have evolved." "Is that so?" Kai smirked. "Let's see how far you've come." Chloe tilted her head, confused. "Trainers from Pallet Town." Kai leaned in and whispered a playful feb, making Chloe giggle. "You're too sneaky," she teased. The samurai boy, noticing her laughter, blushed and quickly released his Pokemon. "Come out, Butterfree," he called. With the battle about to start, Kai sighed and pulled out a Pokeball. "All right, I guess I don't have a choice. Charmeleon, I choose you." With a flash, Charmeleon appeared, ready to battle. Its fiery presence gave it an edge over Butterfree as it landed beside Kai, sparks flickering from its mouth. Chloe glanced around nervously. "Kai, is it safe to fight Charmeleon here? What if it starts a fire?" Kai nodded. "I'll be careful." Just as they were about to begin, a volley of ninja stars shot from the shadows, aimed at Kai. He dodged just in time, and the stars embedded themselves in the grass. "Who's there?" Kai shouted. A woman in a purple ninja outfit stepped out from behind a tree. It was Aya, Koga's sister. "You've got quick reflexes," Aya sneered. "If I knew you were this agile, I would have aimed for your head." Kai smiled awkwardly. "Miss Aya, what a coincidence. Are you training?" "Training? I came to catch you." Aya snapped. Kai blinked, confused. "Caught me?" Chloe imagined a chaotic love triangle. Kai raised his hands defensively. "Let's not say things that could cause misunderstandings." Aya clarified. "You promised me a battle and then vanished. I waited at the gym until my brother told me you were heading to Indigo Plateau." Kai scratched his head. "Sorry. I forgot. Enough excuses. Let's settle this now." Aya growled. The bug catcher, waiting to battle Kai, interjected, "I was here first." Aya glared at him. "I've gone to great lengths to intercept him. Go play somewhere else, kid." "What did you say?" the bug catcher snapped, drawing his wooden sword. They argued, but eventually turned to Kai. "Who are you battling first?" Aya asked. Kai sighed. "Let's settle this at once. I'll battle both of you." "What?" they exclaimed in unison. Aya smirked. "Fine. Venomoth, go." She tossed her Pokeball, releasing a moth-like Pokemon. Kai threw out his next Pokeball. "Blastoise, let's go." Blastoise landed with a thud, shaking the ground. Charmeleon used Flamethrower. Blastoise, Water Gun. Flames and water erupted from his Pokemon, heading for their targets. "Butterfree, Stun Spore," shouted the samurai trainer. "Venomoth, Stun Spore," Aya commanded. They both realized they gave the same command. Frustrated, they adjusted their strategies. The shimmering Stun Spore spread through the air, but was quickly dispersed by the flames and water. Butterfree and Venomoth dodged with agility. "Venomoth, use Psybeam!" Aya shouted. A beam struck Blastoise, causing confusion. Before Aya could celebrate, Butterfree's confusion hit Blastoise too, snapping it out of its daze. Aya yelled at the samurai trainer, "Do you even know how to cooperate?" They refocused on their targets, but Charmeleon and Blastoise had the upper hand. The battle raged on, with flames and water filling the air. Butterfree was struck by Charmeleon's flamethrower, and then hit by Blastoise's water gun, collapsing unconscious. Kai nodded. "Looks like your Butterfree needs more experience." Meanwhile, Aya's Venomoth was tougher. "Blastoise, retreat. Let Charmeleon fight alone," Kai ordered, hoping to push Charmeleon towards evolution. Venomoth struck with Silver Wind, sending Charmeleon stumbling back. "Charmeleon, show them your true strength," Kai called. Charmeleon's determination flared, and it began to glow. "Char!" When the light faded, a majestic Charizard stood in its place. Finally, he evolved. "Charizard, let's finish this. Use Dragon Rage." Charizard unleashed a powerful attack, striking Venomoth and knocking it out. Aya and the samurai trainer exchanged frustrated glances, but sent out their next Pokemon. Kai groaned. "You're really going to keep this up." Suddenly, a round pink figure waddled out from the bushes. "Jigglypuff!" Kai's heart sank as he recognized the infamous Pink Menace. Jigglypuff scanned the area, noticing everyone's attention on it. This was the perfect moment for a concert. "Oh no," Kai said urgently. "Don't let it sing." Sam, the samurai trainer, clueless about Jigglypuff's antics, looked puzzled. "Is that a wild Jigglypuff?" Aya asked, pulling out a Pokeball. "It's so cute." Undeterred, Jigglypuff raised its microphone and began to sing. "Jigglypuff, Jigglypuff." The soft melody filled the air, lulling everyone into a deep sleep. When Jigglypuff finished, it expected applause but saw everyone asleep and puffed up angrily. "Jiggly! Puff puff." It jumped onto Aya's chest and pulled out a hidden marker, drawing on everyone's faces in frustration. The next morning, Kai woke up to chilly air and saw Pokemon and trainers stirring, all covered in Jigglypuff's doodles. "Pink Menace strikes again," he muttered. He gently shook Chloe awake. "Hey, Chloe, it's dawn. Wake up." It's morning?" Chloe rubbed her eyes. "Why am I here? I remember watching your battle." She noticed Kai's face covered in ridiculous graffiti. "Kai, you're usually so serious. Why would you paint that on your face?" "Hey, childish? You've got to be kidding me." Kai handed her a mirror. "Take a look. You have it too." "What?" Chloe gasped, seeing her reflection covered in doodles. "Ah." She grabbed a wet wipe, furiously scrubbing at the marks. What happened? Kai sighed and explained the antics of the mischievous Jigglypuff. He then woke his Pokemon before turning to Aya and the samurai, who were still asleep. He decided to leave them be, returned his Pokemon to their Pokeballs, and quietly left with Chloe. Not long after Aya woke up, her memory of the previous day returning, she looked around for Kai but saw only her Venomoth and the samurai, both covered in graffiti. She pulled out a mirror and froze at her reflection, thick dark circles around her eyes, and a cartoonish nose. Could this be Kai's doing? Aya clenched her fists, shocked someone so composed could pull such a prank. Kai, you scoundrel! How dare you mess with me? Determined to train harder, she muttered, just you wait, Kai. One day I'll get my revenge. Meanwhile, Kai and Chloe headed west, leaving Vidian Forest behind. Kai sneezed. Bless you, Chloe said. Caught a cold from sleeping outdoors? Kai shook his head. No way. Someone's probably talking about me. You're so full of yourself. Who'd think about you? Chloe chuckled. They passed through Vidian City and arrived at the Indigo Plateau just before noon. The area was bustling with trainers and tourists, full of excitement for the upcoming Pokemon League conference. As they entered the athletes' village, a friendly staff member greeted them. Welcome! Here for the Indigo Plateau conference? Kai nodded, presenting his Pokedex and badge case. The staff confirmed his badges and handed him a rulebook. The opening ceremony is in 2 days, but there's a torch relay tomorrow if you're interested. Kai shrugged, and the staff confirmed Chloe was his only companion. They received keys to a cozy 2-story dormitory near the lake, with a beautiful view of the Indigo Stadium. Once inside, they explored the spacious, clean dormitory. Chloe, though shy about staying together, didn't voice her concerns. Alright, that's enough exploring, Kai said, stopping her. We'll be here a few days. If there's time, we can enjoy the scenery later. But for now, I'm starving. Let's find something to eat. Chloe agreed, her stomach growling. Before leaving, she messaged Professor Cerise and her mom to let them know they arrived safely. At the nearby restaurant, they were greeted by a lively atmosphere filled with trainers and Pokemon. The sight and aroma of delicious food made their mouths water. Kai filled his plate, and they settled in a quiet corner. As they ate, Kai spotted a familiar face, Gary Oak, surrounded by girls, looking smug. When their eyes met, Gary raised his coffee cup in acknowledgement, a cocky smile on his lips. Kai returned the gesture, but didn't approach. Their relationship wasn't close enough for that. Continuing to scan the room, Kai noticed familiar faces, Corey Fergus and Nisha, though they wouldn't recognize him due to Mewtwo's memory erasure. Shaking off those thoughts, Kai focused on his meal, chatting with Chloe until they were full. Suddenly a voice called from behind him. I was wondering if I'd see you here. Kai turned to see AJ, the beast tamer. So, you're in the Pokemon League too, Kai said with a sigh. Of course! AJ replied confidently. After you defeated me, I trained hard and built a 100-match winning streak. Now I've got all 8 badges. Impressive. Kai acknowledged. I'm guessing your Sandshrew has evolved by now. Naturally, AJ said with pride, tossing a Pokeball. He glanced at Gardevoir beside Kai. Looks like your Pokemon have evolved too. I hope we get to battle. It'll be great to settle the score. Kai nodded, definitely looking forward to it. AJ waved goodbye, but turned back with a smirk. Watch out for tough competition. Gary Oak, Professor Oak's grandson and a star student, is one of the favorites. Thanks for the heads up, Kai replied. The next day, the Pokemon League held its torch relay, with contestants passing the torch to the Indigo Plateau. Kai watched from the crowd and reunited with Ash, Misty, and Brock, who were participating in the relay. As expected, Team Rocket tried to steal the torch, causing chaos. Luckily, their plan failed, and the torch reached Pokemon League President Charles Goodshow, a short, jovial man who commanded respect despite his laid-back demeanor. Kai learned the flame in the torch came from Moltres. Moltres, he mused, rubbing his chin. With Articuno and Zapdos caught, Moltres was the last legendary bird he needed. That'll be something, he thought. In the evening, Kai invited Ash, Brock, and Misty over for a casual meal of freshly made curry. Gardevoir set the table with Psychic, but tension hung in the air. Ash seemed unusually quiet, preoccupied with the upcoming competition. Kai tried to lighten the mood, but the conversation stalled. Noticing Ash pushing food around on his plate, Kai said, Relax, Ash. No use stressing over what hasn't happened yet. Ash glanced up, attempting a smile, but failing. He admired Kai's calmness, wishing he could be like him. Brock leaned in, offering Ash a glass of water. You're overthinking it. Just focus on what you do best. Battling alongside your Pokémon. Misty added, you've proven yourself. Take it one match at a time. Later that night, Ash lay in bed, unable to sleep. Thoughts of his matches raced through his mind. Through the window, he saw a clear night sky filled with stars, offering little comfort. Deciding he couldn't stay cooped up, Ash quietly dressed and tiptoed outside into the cool night air. The usually bustling athlete village was eerily quiet. Suddenly, a voice startled him. It's so late. Aren't you resting yet? Ash turned to see Kai on a nearby rooftop with Gardevoir. Kai? Ash called, surprised. Kai smiled. Couldn't sleep, huh? Ash nodded. What about you? Kai held up his phone. Same here. It's my first big event. I guess I'm just better at hiding it than you. Ash was surprised. You? Nervous? You don't look it. Kai chuckled softly as he floated down with Gardevoir's help. I'm human too. Everyone feels pressure when it counts. The trick is not letting it control you. Ash sighed. I keep thinking about every possible outcome. I wish I could skip to the battles. Kai smiled. You're not nervous. You're excited. You've got so much energy bottled up. Ash blinked, considering maybe, but it's still hard to calm down. Kai gestured toward the horizon. Want to go for a walk? Seeing the stadium up close might help you focus. Ash hesitated, but agreed. All right, let's go. They walked through the quiet streets, the Indigo Stadium looming ahead. When they arrived, Ash's eyes widened at the arena's size. This is where we'll battle, he said, in awe. Kai nodded. Are you ready? Tomorrow, this place will be packed, and your skills will be on display. Ash clenched his fist, determination replacing nerves. I'll give it my all. Kai chuckled. That's the spirit. Remember, the world remembers the winners. Suddenly, President Goodshow approached, his kind smile reassuring. It's rare to see competitors here so late. Most are resting for tomorrow. Kai greeted him politely. We were too restless to sleep, so we decided to visit the venue. Goodshow nodded. Familiarizing yourself with the battlefield can make a difference. Preparation and focus are key. The next morning, the Indigo Stadium buzzed with energy. At 9 Alzarn a.m., a massive Pokeball-shaped firework exploded, releasing Pidgey into the sky. Spectators filled the stands, their cheers creating a deafening roar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Indigo Plateau Conference. An announcer's voice echoed. The strongest trainers and their Pokémon will compete for glory. Among the sign-bearers were Kai and Ash, walking confidently as the crowd cheered. These trainers have all earned at least 8 badges, the announcer continued. Who will rise above and claim victory? When the final torchbearer lit the ceremonial flame, the stadium erupted in applause, filling the trainers with determination. President Goodshow delivered a brief but impactful speech about perseverance and sportsmanship. With the conference underway, Ash glanced at Pikachu on his shoulder. Let's give it everything we've got. Kai nodded. Time to show the world what we're made of. After the opening ceremony, Kai and Ash joined Chloe, Misty, and Brock to head to the drawing venue. The air buzzed with excitement as trainers discussed their hopes and strategies. Inside, 5 workstations welcomed trainers with warmth, easing the tension for first-timers and showcasing the tournament's professionalism. Kai glanced around, observing the trainers in line. Some were nervous, clutching their Pokeballs, while others chatted confidently. This part is crucial, Brock said, crossing his arms. If luck's on your side, you might face weaker opponents later. Chloe nodded. But a good strategy can turn the tide, even against stronger foes. As they approached the workstations, an attendant greeted them. Good morning, may I see your trainer registration cards? Before Kai could respond, Brock jumped in, his eyes sparkling. Ah, beautiful lady, your smile has captured my heart. May I take you to lunch after your shift? Misty groaned, pulling Brock away. Sorry about him, she said to the attendant. Chloe chuckled, amused by Brock's antics. Did he act like this even as a gym leader? All the time, Misty sighed. You should have seen how he flirted with every female challenger. Once the commotion settled, the attendant accepted Kai and Ash's Pokédexes and registration cards. Ash leaned forward eagerly. So who's my opponent? Calm down, Ash, Brock said, leaning against the counter. You need to determine the battlefield first. The attendant explained the 4 battlefield types: rock, grass, water, and ice. Kai flipped through a booklet. All this info is in here, he said, showing Ash. Ash scratched his head. I Lost mine. The attendant gestured to a button. Press this to randomly select your battlefield. Ash pressed the button, and the screen landed on the water field. Yes, he exclaimed. The attendant entered his data, revealing his opponent, a man with long, dark green hair and an arrogant expression. Is that my opponent? Ash muttered. Your first battle is on the water field at 2:00 p.m. Don't be late, the attendant said. Next, Kai took a deep breath and pressed the button. The screen spun and landed on the grass field. His opponent appeared, a man with blue hair and sunglasses. Misty gasped. It's him. That's Damien. He's not a great person. Does he have strong Pokémon? Kai asked. Misty exchanged glances with Ash and Brock. We didn't see much of his team, she admitted. He's unpredictable. Kai shrugged. Facing the unknown makes it exciting. The attendant smiled at Kai's confidence. Your match is at 11 a.m. Don't be late. With their match time set, the group had a couple of hours to prepare. Exiting the venue, they found a lively shopping street lined with souvenir stalls and dessert shops. Misty and Chloe darted toward the shops, excitement in the air. You're not joining them? Brock asked Kai. I'll catch up later. I need time to strategize, Kai replied. As they walked, Kai spotted Jesse, James, and Meowth, poorly disguised as reporters. They looked around, clearly scouting trainers with rare Pokémon. Good, Kai thought. As long as they stay out of my way. Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice. Kai. Turning around, he saw a group of kids he had met on the cycling road near Celadon City. We came to cheer you on, big bro. Martha and Misha grinned, displaying homemade banners. Kai was touched. Thank you. After the competition, dinner's on me. Don't mention it. We're your crew, Misha said. She then noticed Ash and the others. Aren't you the same kids from back then? So, Big Brother too? That's right, Brock nodded, puzzled. But why do you call him Big Brother? Misha smiled. After being defeated by him, we respect Boss Kai as our big brother. Ash and the others believed her without question. Please do your best, Big Brother, Misha cheered. Show them your strength. Kai sighed. You really think I'm invincible? They laughed. Unconvinced. A commotion arose as a news team approached. The reporter, a stylish woman with a striking appearance, held a microphone. Hello, we're from Lumiose Press. May I ask you a few questions? Before Kai could respond, Brock jumped in. Ah, beautiful lady. Please interview me. Misty quickly karate chopped Brock, knocking him out. I'm so sorry, she said, awkwardly. He's always like this? The reporter explained. Lumiose is a major city in the Kalos region. We're quite influential locally. Kalos region, Ash, Misty, and Brock exclaimed. Isn't that where you're from? Kai nodded, piquing the reporter's interest. Are you a trainer from Kalos? She asked. You could say that, Kai replied. It's where I began my journey. The reporter's professional instincts kicked in. I'm Alexa, a special correspondent for Lumiose Press. Can I conduct an exclusive interview with you? Kai hesitated. Sorry, but I'll have to decline. I haven't achieved anything yet. If I make it past the qualifiers, then maybe. Alexa smiled. All right, best of luck in the preliminaries. Let's revisit this after you qualify. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, the second match in the grass field is about to begin. The announcer's voice echoed through the auxiliary arena. Thank you to the first match competitors for an exciting battle. Now let's welcome the participants for the second match. Even though it was just the qualifiers, the packed arena buzzed with excitement. As the trainers emerged from the tunnels, the crowd erupted in cheers. A particularly loud group, dressed like Baso Soku gang members, waved banners and cheered, drawing both amusement and curiosity. Kai walked alone to the trainer's platform, locking eyes with his opponent, Damien. They exchanged a brief, intense look before focusing on the announcer. Introducing first, on the red side, we have Damien, the announcer declared. Damien waved, receiving applause, but the gang members booed. And on the green side, we have Kai. Kai waved to polite applause, but his supporters' cheers drowned out the crowd. Boss, you've got this. Kai spotted Ash, Misty, and Brock nervously watching from the stands. On the big screen, their profiles appeared, showing the number of remaining Pokémon. The battle was a 3-on-3 format. Losing all Pokémon meant elimination. The referee raised 2 flags. Both trainers send out your Pokémon at the same time. Kai selected a Pokeball while Damien smiled confidently. As they released their Pokémon, two beams of light flashed onto the battlefield. A Primeape appeared on Damien's side, while Kai's Gardevoir captivated the audience. Damien muttered, "What kind of Pokémon is that?" With the sound of a bell, the battle began. Gardevoir, use Psychic. Kai commanded. Prime charge, Damien yelled. Prime leaped but was halted midair by Gardevoir's Psychic, slamming it to the ground. Damn it, it's a Psychic type? Damien thought, his expression darkening. As Gardevoir continued its assault, Primeape flailed and grabbed a rock. Use rock throw, Damien shouted. The stone barely missed Primeape's head, grazing its cheek. Primeape's seismic toss, Damien yelled. But Gardevoir teleported away, unleashing another psychic attack that knocked Primeape out cold. Cheers erupted from the audience, especially from Kai's friends. Damien's confidence shattered as he realized he was facing a formidable opponent. The announcer's voice echoed, "Damien's first Pokémon has been defeated. He still has 2 left." Gritting his teeth, Damien sent out his next Pokémon, Go Marowak. Kai recalled Gardevoir and sent out Venusaur. "It's your turn." The host announced, "Round 2 begins." Can Damien make a comeback? Marowak struggled against Venusaur's grass-type moves before finally being knocked out. Oh, what a pity. Damien has lost another round. Kai has secured match point. Damien backed into a corner, reached for his final Pokémon. I was saving this for the finals, but I have no choice. His final Pokémon, Flareon, emerged in a burst of blue light. "So, this is your strongest?" Kai asked calmly. "You bet it is." Damien replied smugly. Kai returned Venusaur and sent out Blastoise. When the referee signaled the battle's start, Flareon sprang into action. Despite its fiery strength, it succumbed to Blastoise's powerful water-type moves. "And that's it! Blastoise wins!" the announcer exclaimed. Ash commented from the stands, "It seems like the tournament isn't as tough as I expected." Misty shot him a glare. "Don't underestimate your opponents." Damien stood in stunned silence. "I didn't win a single round," he muttered, disbelief washing over him. As the referee declared Kai the winner, cheers erupted from the crowd. Kai waved modestly before exiting the battlefield. Later at an ice cream parlor, Kai, Misty, Ash, and the gang celebrated with cold drinks. "That Damien guy was so weak," Misha laughed, nearly choking on her ice cream. "I bet I could beat him." Her comment caught Damien's attention as he walked in, fuming. "Who's talking trash about me?" Misha stood her ground. "Oh, it's you, Mr. 03. What's the problem? Can't handle the truth?" Damien flinched, but puffed up his chest, bolstered by his friends. "It was just dumb luck that I lost. In a proper 6-on-6 battle, I'd crush him. And you'd better watch your mouth, or..." Before Damien could finish, a group of Bosozoku members at nearby tables stood up, glaring menacingly. Their intimidating presence made Damien and his friends pale. Damien, maybe we should leave. This doesn't look good," one of his friends whispered nervously. Realizing he was outnumbered, Damien muttered something about checking on his bike and hurriedly left with his friends. The group continued enjoying their desserts, barely paying attention to the confrontation. Kai turned to Ash with an encouraging smile. "Now it's your turn, Ash. I know your opponent is tough, but I believe you'll win." Chloe nodded. "Be careful, though. I heard your opponent is a magician who's made the news a few times." "I don't care if he's a magician or not," Ash said, slurping his drink. "I must beat him and get to the next round." The TV on the wall was broadcasting live matches. Suddenly, the announcer's voice grew louder, drawing everyone's attention. The screen showed Gary Oak easily defeating his opponent 3-0 on the ice field. Gary Oak from Pallet Town achieved a memorable victory, the female reporter began. She held the microphone out to Gary. "What are your thoughts on your performance?" "The first match is always important, and I'm glad to have won," Gary replied confidently. "Advancing to the next round is reassuring, but it's just the beginning." Hearing this, Ash clenched his fists. Gary had advanced, and so had Kai. He had even more reason not to lose. At noon, motivated by the competition, Misty and Brock accompanied Ash to the Pokémon Center to strategize and adjust his Pokémon lineup. Afterward, they found good seats at the next venue to watch upcoming battles, armed with Coke, popcorn, and cheering sticks. While waiting, Kai's phone buzzed with unread messages. One was from Sabrina, who had congratulated him after watching a replay of his match. Other messages were from Erica, Looker, and friends from his journey. The earliest message was from a girl in the Kalos region who had stayed up late to watch his match. Chloe glanced curiously at his phone as Kai replied. Finally, Ash and his opponent entered the arena. The water field featured a large circular pool with floating platforms. Ash's opponent sent out an executor, while Ash chose Krabby. Wow, there seem to be more spectators for this match, Chloe remarked. Definitely more, about 1/3 more, Kai agreed. The increased attention was due to Ash's opponent's popularity. But as the match progressed, the tide turned. Executor's psychic attacks troubled Krabby, but Ash found an opening. Krabby used the water for cover, closed the distance, and unleashed a series of moves that defeated Executor. To everyone's surprise, Krabby evolved into a giant Kingler after the victory. Ash's opponent sent out a Seadra, but Ash secured another win. The audience began cheering for Ash. Is this kid really that strong? In the final battle, Kingler defeated his opponent's Golbat, securing a 3-0 victory. The match is over. Ash wins, the announcer exclaimed. The crowd erupted in applause, while Ash's opponent looked pale and defeated. Misty, Brock, and others cheered loudly. Ash's victory meant he and Kai had both advanced to the next round. Afterward, Kai, Chloe, and their group joined Ash for dinner. They decided not to watch any more matches, as keeping up with the Indigo League's numerous battles was impossible. By the end of the second day, 20 contestants had been eliminated, leaving the sports village noticeably emptier. On the morning of the third day, the remaining contestants gathered, filled with anticipation. Kai and Ash returned to the venue and saw the smiling staff member who had assisted them before. You two are impressive. You easily passed the first round, he said. It's nothing, Ash adjusted his cap confidently. We're strong, and we'll keep beating our opponents. The staff member shifted back to business. All right, after the first round, your venues and opponents will change. Who wants to go first? Me. Ash stepped forward eagerly, pressing the button. The indicator displayed a rock field and an unfamiliar opponent. Relieved he wasn't facing Kai or Gary so soon. Ash smiled. Next, it was Kai's turn. He pressed the button, and the indicator stopped at the water field, revealing a man dressed like a wandering swordsman. Misty frowned. Isn't he the unlucky idiot we ran into before reaching the Indigo Plateau? Who is he? Kai asked, curious. His name is Atoshi, Brock interjected. Team Rocket stole his badges when he first arrived. He even lost to Pikachu. With the matchups finalized, Kai and Ash waved goodbye to the staff and left the venue. Unfortunately, their battles were scheduled at the same time, so they couldn't cheer for each other. At the crossroads, Kai extended his hand. Good luck. Let's both win our matches and move to the next round. I'd love to face you in the finals. I will. Ash nodded firmly. You're both on my list of rivals to beat. After parting ways, Kai and Chloe headed to the Waterfield Lounge, where trainers could prepare and strategize undisturbed. Kai leaned back on the sofa, a damp towel over his face, deep in thought about his team selection. Meanwhile, Chloe scrolled through footage of Atoshi's previous battle on her phone. This guy, she muttered after watching a few clips. He barely won with his last Pokémon. Really? Kai replied lazily. What Pokémon did he use? Chloe checked her notes. Pidgeot, Noting, and Marowak. Brock said Marowak seems to be his ace. Another Marowak? Kai thought, they're everywhere in this tournament. Contestant Kai, please report to the arena for your match. The announcement broke the silence. Kai removed the towel, patted his cheeks, and stood up. I'll give it my all, no matter what. He smiled at Chloe. Don't overthink it. Misha saved you a seat. Now watch me perform. Dear viewers, welcome to the second round of the Indigo League at the Waterfield. The host's enthusiastic voice filled the arena. First, from the red side, we have Kai. He dominated his last match. Will he keep the streak going? As Kai emerged, the crowd cheered, and a group of rowdy bikers waved flags. Big bro, show these noobs your power. Their cheers drew attention, sparking speculation among the audience about Kai's connection to the bikers. Once the applause died down, the host introduced Atoshi, who received polite applause mixed with boos from Kai's supporters. Both trainers signaled readiness, and the referee raised his flags. Trainers, send out your Pokemon. Kai tossed his Pokeball. Come out, Gyarados. The massive red Gyarados emerged, intimidating everyone. Atoshi followed with Let's Go Poliwhirl. The host exclaimed, both trainers chose water types. This will come down to strength and strategy. Gyarados' Intimidate ability activated, making Poliwhirl nervous. Poliwhirl, use Hypnosis. Otoshi commanded. Poliwhirl released hypnotic rings aimed at Gyarados. Dive into the water, Gyarados. Kai countered. Gyarados dove just in time, dodging the attack. You can't escape! Poliwhirl, follow it! Otoshi shouted. Poliwhirl leapt in, but Gyarados erupted from the water, colliding with it midair. Well done, Gyarados. Use Bite, Kai commanded. Gyarados caught Poliwhirl, who struggled to escape. Poliwhirl, use Hypnosis again. Otoshi called out desperately. But Gyarados' grip was too strong. Fine, Water Gun, Otoshi ordered. Poliwhirl sprayed water into Gyarados' mouth, forcing it to release. Poliwhirl is free, the host announced. Not for long. Gyarados, use Twister, Kai commanded. Gyarados created a massive water spout, engulfing Poliwhirl. Wow. Kaz Gyarados has turned the battlefield into a storm, the host exclaimed. When the Twister ended, Poliwhirl was flung into the air. Gyarados, finish it with Aqua Tail! Gyarados struck Poliwhirl, sending it crashing against the stadium wall, unconscious. Poliwhirl is unable to battle. Gyarados wins. The crowd erupted in cheers for Kai's strategy. Otoshi recalled Poliwhirl, clearly worried. He sent out Parasect next, but Kai switched to Charizard. Charizard dominated the match, nearly roasting Parasect. When Otoshi recalled it, faint wisps of smoke rose from its singed body. With no choice left, Otoshi sent out Marowak, his trusted partner. Kai recalled Charizard and sent out Haunter. Haunter toyed with Marowak, evading its attacks and wearing it down. When the referee raised the flag, the crowd cheered. All Pokémon on the green side are unable to battle. The red side wins. The host declared Kai utilized 6 different Pokémon, each securing a decisive victory. The audience roared for Kai, who gained new fans. After the match, Kai, Chloe, Misha, and Martha gathered at a drink shop to watch Ash's match. Unlike Kai's clean sweep, Ash's battle was intense, with both trainers down to their final Pokémon. At a critical moment, Ash's Squirtle defeated Nidorino, clinching victory. That was too close, Chloe remarked. If he's struggling now, later matches will be tougher. Kai explained it's not as bad as it looks. Ash is likely holding back to conserve strength for future rounds. Still hiding his strength? Martha crossed her arms. I'd go all out for a safe victory. Kai noticed a member of Misha's gang flipping through his wallet with a sigh, realizing the financial strain they might be under. Misha, I appreciate your support, but don't you have work or school? You can cheer for me from home, Kai suggested. Misha waved it off. We'd skip anything to watch this. It's the Pokémon League. Martha added, yeah, we're camping out with the whole gang. Chloe looked uncomfortable with their reckless behavior. Then Martha mentioned, by the way, did you know the prize money this year is over 300 million Poké-Dollars for the champion? Chloe gasped, there's prize money? Of course, Martha replied. Even third place gets over 80 million. The Pokémon League rewards hard work. Kai nodded, realizing the prize could mean financial stability for a long time. The second round lasted a day and a half, allowing contestants to rest between battles. The streets near the Indigo Stadium buzzed with activity, featuring stalls and vibrant performances. That night, a parade of Pokémon-themed floats lit up the area with music. After dinner, Kai and Chloe strolled through the lively streets, enjoying snacks and the colorful sights. At a doll stand, Kai bought a plush toy for Chloe, making her smile shyly. However, Kai's growing fame meant he was often stopped by fans for autographs. After handling a dozen encounters, he sighed. You're a celebrity now, Kai, Chloe teased. Yeah, but I'd rather travel than be famous, Kai replied with a wry smile. At dawn, they returned to the tournament venue, with only 64 skilled trainers left. The battles were about to get tougher. They approached a different work desk, since the staff member who had helped them was busy. Ash was assigned to the ice field against a trainer named Kenny, while Kai's draw revealed a beautiful girl on the rock field screen. This, Misty exclaimed, recognizing Giselle. Hey Ash, remember when you called her cute? Isn't this her? Ash's face turned beet red. Why can't they forget that? Kai stroked his chin. So, this is the star student everyone's talked about, the one seen as a favorite to win with Gary. Giselle appeared charming and elegant, making Ash's embarrassment understandable, as if sensing their conversation. Giselle approached with a few boys in school uniforms. "So it really is you," she said, crossing her arms. "You're Ash, Brock, and Misty, right?" Caught off guard, Misty stammered, "Did you make it to the third round too? Where's Joe? Didn't he qualify?" "Joe? He was eliminated in the first round," Giselle replied, annoyed. "His strength just wasn't enough." She then noticed her picture next to Kai's on the big screen. "So, my next opponent is you." "That's right," Kai said politely. "I look forward to our match." Giselle smirked. "The battlefield isn't for mercy. I won't go easy on you. Don't worry, I'll try not to make you cry after I win." Kai was momentarily speechless, surprised by her cockiness. Misty was about to argue, but Kai stopped her. On their way out, Misty was still fuming. "Why waste energy arguing? Let the battle speak for itself," Kai chuckled. Third round, Rock Field. "Welcome to the third round of the Indigo League at the Rock Field," the announcer boomed. On the red side is Giselle, a star student known for her skills. On the green side is Kai, who has dominated his battles. Only one can advance. Let's find out. As they entered the arena, cheers erupted, with Giselle having more male supporters. The battlefield was rugged, filled with boulders and stones. When the referee signaled for Pokémon, Kai chose Blastoise, while Giselle sent out Onix. Giselle has chosen Onix, which has an advantage here, but Kai's Blastoise has a clear type advantage, the announcer exclaimed. Giselle smirked confidently, having previously defeated Misty Starmie with a Golem despite the type disadvantage. "Blastos! Use Water Gun! Onix, dig underground!" Blastoise fired high-pressure streams, but Onix burrowed into the ground, avoiding the attack. Blastos moved to the largest rock. Blastoise climbed to a tall rock for a better view. Giselle smirked, realizing her ambush plan was thwarted. "Not bad, but you've trapped yourself. Onix, use Rock Tomb." A barrage of rocks shot toward Blastoise. Blastos, withdraw. Blastoise retracted into its shell, absorbing most of the impact and launching into the air, unharmed. Giselle frowned, realizing her strategy had failed. Blastoise spin and come down with rapid spin. Blastoise spun down, slamming into the ground where Onix was hiding. Boom! Onix emerged, dazed. Now's our chance. Blastoise Water Gun. Blastoise blasted Onix with twin streams of water, leaving it on the verge of collapse. "Onix, get out of there!" Giselle shouted, but the muddy ground trapped it. "What?" Giselle gasped, her composure slipping. Incredible. The soaked terrain has turned into a quagmire, preventing Onix from escaping. The commentator exclaimed. Kai chuckled, noticing Giselle's frustration. "I suppose this isn't something they taught you at the academy?" Giselle clenched her fists, but remained silent. "Blastos, let's finish this! Hydro Pump!" With a powerful blast, Blastoise knocked Onix out cold. Onix is unable to battle. Blastoise wins. The referee's announcement ignited a thunderous cheer from Kai's supporters, while Giselle's fans groaned in disappointment. "Incredible!" the commentator exclaimed. Despite Onix's durability, it stood no chance against Blastoise's water-type advantage. Kai takes the first victory. Giselle returned on Onix to its Pokeball, her confidence shaken. Back in school, she had overcome type disadvantages with skill, but this battle reminded her of the unpredictability of real competition. Quickly recovering, she smirked and pulled out another Pokeball. "I underestimated you in the first battle. Let's see how you handle this next challenge." She tossed the Pokeball, revealing a Pokemon resembling a circus clown. Gasps erupted from the audience as Kai recognized it. It's a Mr. Mime. Even in Kanto, Mr. Mime is rare, but Giselle's shiny version shimmered green, making it even more extraordinary. "Wow, a shiny Mr. Mime? This is a first," the host exclaimed. Mr. Mime, known for its oversized hands and miming abilities, was popular among homemakers. It was unclear whether Giselle caught it herself or if it came from her wealthy family. Regardless, the buzz around her shiny Pokemon promised a massive audience for this match. Outside the arena, Brock smiled at the commotion. "Is Mr. Mime powerful?" Chloe asked. Brock nodded. "Its strength depends on the trainer. With Psychic and Fairy types, it has unique advantages." He chuckled. "Before we reached Indigo Plateau, we met Ash's mom's Mr. Mime, named Mimey." Chloe blinked in surprise. "Delia?" Brock sighed dreamily. Ash's mom is kind and elegant. Cough, beautiful too. Chloe rolled her eyes. Are shiny Pokemon stronger? Not really, Brock replied. They're unique in color, but have the same abilities as regular ones. Back in the arena, Kai recalled Blastoise and released Gardevoir. Let's settle this with a balanced battle. Oh! The host exclaimed. A duel between two psychic types. Who will emerge victorious? Meanwhile, Pokemon League President Charles Goodshow entered the control center, where staff monitored the broadcast. How are the ratings? Goodshow asked. John, the director, beamed. The Rockfield battle is skyrocketing. Ratings just broke. Really? That's usually seen in the main rounds? Goodshow replied, intrigued as he watched the battle. On the battlefield, Gardevoir and Shiny Mr. Mime exchanged psychic moves, creating an intense contest. Goodshow noticed Gardevoir gaining the upper hand. Remarkable, he murmured. That contestant is undefeated. Someone to watch closely. Absolutely, John agreed. This battle has everything: an iconic trainer, a shiny Pokemon, and immense skill. The ratings are the highest for any qualifier. The announcer's voice rang out. Gardevoir starts with Dazzling Gleam. It follows up with Draining Kiss, and finishes with a perfectly executed Magical Leaf combo. Mr. Mime has fallen. The crowd erupted in applause. Gardevoir emerged victorious after a grueling exchange, showcasing superior skill. Lying unconscious, Mr. Mime bore only a few scratches, a testament to its resilience. For Giselle, however, the cheers felt like mockery. How did this happen? I'm the genius, she thought, returning Mr. Mime to its Pokeball. Gritting her teeth, she hesitated before sending out her final Pokemon, a Scyther. The crowd's reaction was muted, some disappointed. Oh, it's just a Scyther, the announcer noted. But considering Giselle's reputation, she must have confidence in its abilities. Kai recalled Gardevoir and sent out Jolteon. From the first exchanges, it was clear Scyther lacked the finesse of Giselle's Mr. Mime. Electric sparks crackled as Jolteon's Thunderbolt clashed with Scyther's slash attacks. Despite Scyther's valiant fight, Jolteon's speed turned the tide. After enduring several electric-type moves, Scyther collapsed. The referee raised his flag. Scyther is unable to battle. The winner is Kai. Another flawless 3-0 victory, the announcer declared. Kai has proven unstoppable. Who can end his winning streak? Giselle stood frozen, trembling. Tears welled in her eyes as the reality of her defeat sank in. Watching her, Kai approached calmly. Giselle, I understand how you feel. To grow stronger, you need to explore the world and face more challenges. She looked up, frustration mixed with curiosity. Thank you for your advice. I accept my loss, but I won't let it end here. I'll go on a journey and return to defeat you. Kai smiled. I'll be waiting for your challenge. With that, he waved to the cheering audience and recalled Jolteon, feeling proud of his progress as he walked toward the exit. Meanwhile, in the control center, John monitored the ratings. Increase the spotlight on this player. Schedule his matches during prime time and promote them heavily. But, sir, a staff member nervously interjected, the matchups are determined by the system. We can't then manipulate the system. John snapped. Get it done. The staff scrambled to comply as President Charles Goodshow observed silently. While he didn't condone such tactics, he recognized the importance of maintaining the Pokemon League's excitement and ratings. An exceptional trainer like Kai was a boon to the tournament, and Goodshow saw no reason to interfere. Kai joined Chloe and the others to watch Ash's match. As the tournament progressed, the stadiums filled to capacity. They finally found seats just as Ash's battle began. To everyone's surprise, Ash lost the first match quickly. His Squirtle struggled against Tyson's Pokemon, but Ash adapted, using Kingler to defeat 2 of Tyson's Pokemon and then Pikachu to secure victory. Ash showcased improved strength and strategy. After the match, Ash and Kai exchanged smiles, celebrating their advancement to the next round. Kai decided to skip the Athlete Village's restaurant for a luxurious meal instead. Upon returning to the dormitory, Kai spotted a crowd near his building. Reporters swarmed him like Carvanha drawn to blood. Contestant Kai, can I ask you a few questions? The chaotic crowd pushed Ash aside, leaving him confused. What's going on? Why are all these reporters after Kai? Brock asked. Unbeknownst to them, Kai's match ratings had skyrocketed, attracting eager reporters. Sorry, everyone, Kai said, shielding his eyes from camera flashes. I'm not accepting interviews right now. The Saffron City reporter asked why refuse Kai. Until I achieve a higher ranking, I'd rather not comment, Kai replied calmly, wanting to maintain a low profile. Just as the reporters pressed further, a group of bikers arrived, parting the crowd. "Step aside. Our boss doesn't want interviews." The reporters grumbled, but retreated under the bikers' stern glares. Inside, Kai invited Misha and Martha to join him. "I didn't expect this much attention," Kai admitted, feeling overwhelmed. The bikers stood guard outside, proud of their leader's rising fame. Suddenly, a young biker burst in. "Boss, another reporter wants to see you." Before Kai could respond, Martha slammed the table. "Didn't I say no reporters? Chase them off." But she has an appointment with the boss. "An appointment?" Martha turned to Kai. Kai realized it's probably Alexa. Indeed, Alexa was the only reporter he had spoken with before. "Let her in," Kai instructed. Moments later, Alexa entered with her heliopter. My, she teased. "You're not easy to reach these days, Kai. A whole biker gang guarding your door." "They're just friends helping me handle a few enthusiastic guests," Kai replied. "Guests, huh? You mean my colleagues?" "Not at all," Kai said smoothly. "Having a talented reporter like you here is an honor." Alexa smiled at the compliment, while Chloe and Misty exchanged unimpressed glances. After some small talk, only Kai and Alexa remained in the living room. The others had left, and Martha stood guard outside. Kai sat on the sofa as Alexa set up her equipment. "Mr. Kai, could you introduce yourself?" she asked, holding a recorder. "My name is Kai, 18 years old, from Santalune City in Kalos. I'm challenging the Indigo League," he responded confidently. Alexa asked a series of questions, and Kai answered without hesitation. "You've been undefeated so far? Any specific strategy?" she asked. "No secret," Kai replied. "I just take every match seriously and use type advantages." "What inspired you to become a Pokémon trainer?" she inquired. Kai paused. "I've loved Pokémon since I was a kid, but the biggest influence was Diantha, the Kalos champion." "Diantha? Why her?" Alexa asked, intrigued. "She encouraged me to pursue this path and taught me everything. Without her, I wouldn't be here," Kai explained. Alexa's excitement grew. This connection with Diantha was big news. When the interview concluded, Alexa grinned. "One last thing. Let's take some photos." "Photos?" Kai raised an eyebrow. "Of course! We need visuals for the story," she insisted, pulling out her camera. After several solo shots, Alexa asked Kai to release some Pokémon for group photos. He chose smaller ones like Gardevoir and Jolteon. The next morning, Kai, Ash, and the others arrived at the drawing venue for the final round of qualifiers. "Welcome back!" A staff member greeted them. "Congratulations on advancing." Ash eagerly pressed the button to draw his opponent. The screen displayed the grass field and Jeanette Fisher from Maiden Town. Brock swooned at Jeanette's photo. Maiden Peak is famous for its beauties. Misty rolled her eyes. "Brock, you're a gym leader. Focus on battles." Next, it was Kai's turn. He pressed the button, and the ice field appeared along with his opponent, Gary Oak. "Gary!" Everyone gasped, surprised to see a familiar rival confirmed. What they didn't realize was that Gary had already been pre-selected as Kai's opponent by John, one of the tournament officials. No matter when Kai pressed the button, the outcome would have been the same. "Looks like I finally got a worthy opponent," Gary called out, striding toward them with a dozen cheerleaders in matching uniforms. "I remember when you wanted to battle me, but I turned you down. Now, let's see who's stronger," he taunted. Kai smirked back. "We'll find out soon enough." Gary left triumphantly, still the arrogant rich kid he always was. Despite both advancing to the fourth round, he didn't take Kai seriously and was annoyed by the attention Kai received after his last match. "Defeating a weak girl is all it was," Gary muttered. "I would have ended the battle cleaner." He fumed. "Why is Kai getting so much attention? I'll teach him a lesson soon enough." As Gary walked away, only Chloe, meeting him for the first time, saw his provocation for what it was, souring her impression of him. With the drawing complete, Ash's match was set for 10,000 a.m., while Kai's would be at 3,000 p.m. After leaving the venue, the group found a place to rest. As match time approached, Ash entered the players' lounge while Kai and the others headed to the grass field stands. The stadium was packed, but they secured spots near the front. "Dr. Oak? Aunt Delia? What are you doing here?" Brock exclaimed upon spotting them. Hello, thank you for taking care of Ash, Delia smiled warmly. It's no trouble, Brock replied. But did you come all this way just to cheer for Ash? Nothing beats the atmosphere of being here in person, Professor Oak said, glancing at Kai. You must be Kai. I've seen your matches. Kai greeted him politely, then introduced Chloe. Oh? I remember attending your full moon celebration. You've grown so much, Professor Oak reminisced. Chloe nodded politely, though she had no memory of it. By then Ash's match began. He took the green side, while Jeanette from Maiden Peak took the red. Unlike Ash's casual entrance, Jeanette made a grand entrance in a flowing red dress, captivating the audience, including Brock. Wow, what a display, Misty murmured. Should we cheer for Ash? Don't bother, Brock said. Their cheers will drown us out. As the match started, Ash sent out Bulbasaur against Jeanette's Beedrill. Despite Beedrill's advantage, Ash's tactics shone through. He used Leech Seed to drain Beedrill's stamina and finish with a well-placed tackle. Jeanette's supporters cheered louder, chanting, "There's still one." Undeterred, Jeanette sent out Scyther next. Its double team created perfect illusions, pushing Bulbasaur to its limits. But Bulbasaur's Vine Whip struck true, revealing the real Scyther and securing victory. However, Jeanette remained composed and sent out her third Pokémon, a Bellsprout. The audience gasped in disbelief. Bellsprout was seen as weak. Ash smirked, thinking victory was within reach. But Bellsprout surprised everyone, flipping Bulbasaur over its shoulder with remarkable agility. Amazing, the host exclaimed. Who knew Bellsprout was this strong? Bulbasaur got back up but struggled as Bellsprout tossed it around like a rag doll. Finally, it hurled Bulbasaur out of bounds, landing near Ash's feet. The referee declared Bellsprout the winner. For refusing to accept defeat, Ash sent out Pikachu, who unleashed Thunderbolt. But Bellsprout dodged effortlessly, its roots absorbing the electricity. Kai leaned toward Misty. Grass types like Bellsprout resist electric moves. Pikachu's inconsistent performance doesn't help. With limited options, Ash commanded Pikachu to fight close. Yet Bellsprout countered with exceptional skill, knocking Pikachu out cold. Even Pikachu lost. Misty gasped. Ash sent out his last Pokémon, Mook. The audience groaned at the sight. But Mook's unique properties turned the tide. Bellsprout's attacks were ineffective against Mook's gelatinous body. Finally, Ash ordered Mook to use Body Slam, enveloping Bellsprout until it couldn't continue. The referee declared Ash the winner. Kai sighed in relief. Ash got lucky this time. Mook's resilience was the perfect counter. As the battle ended, Ash beamed, especially when he spotted Delia and Professor Oak in the audience. Delia offered to cook Ash's favorite meal, but Kai felt out of place and quietly left. Taking advantage of the free time, Kai and Chloe visited a gift shop. Chloe decided to buy gifts for her family. After watching Kai's battle on TV, her younger brother Parker eagerly asked for autographs, boosting his popularity at school. Boys and girls, even students from other classes, flocked to him during recess to hear his favorite story. Those autographs became debts he owed for bragging. When Chloe asked Kai for a favor, she felt embarrassed, but he generously replied, "Nah, don't worry about it." That moment stuck with her, filling her with warmth every time she recalled it. Amid the lively crowd, Kai wore a baseball cap and large sunglasses, blending in with the tourists. No one would guess he was the rising star in the Pokémon League. To keep his privacy, he coordinated with a reporter named Rhonda for an exclusive interview, hoping to avoid media chaos for now, but he knew that if he kept advancing, the frenzy would return. Chloe pointed to a plush Jenny doll and smiled. "Kai, do you think this would suit Parker?" Kai shook his head. "Parker's a cool kid. How about the Charizard figure instead?" Just then, his phone rang. It was an old friend. "I saw your match on TV. Advancing to the top 32 is impressive, but I know your real goal is the championship, right?" "Of course," Kai replied, adjusting his sunglasses and noticing Chloe drifting away. "If I didn't have big dreams, I wouldn't be here. Anyway, make it quick. This isn't the best place to talk." The voice laughed. "Judging by the noise, I'd guess you're out shopping with a girl." Kai scanned the crowd suspiciously. "How do you know that? Are you spying on me?" "Relax, just a lucky guess," the voice teased. "You always seem to have girls around you. First Sabrina, then Eureka, now this one." Kai sighed. "Can we skip the commentary?" "Fine," the caller said seriously. "We've made progress. Most of Team Rocket's operatives in Kanto have been apprehended. Just a few stragglers left. Kai wasn't convinced. Giovanni's cunning meant there were still secrets lurking. Sounds like you're doing good work, but I'm guessing you didn't call just to share good news. Right, after the crackdown, Rocket's higher-ups fled to Johto. Once the Indigo Plateau conference is over, will you be heading there? That's the plan. Why? Are you asking for my help again? Exactly. We need someone like you to disrupt their operations. You're one of the few trainers who can handle it. Kai chuckled. What? Am I some kind of milk tank you can keep milking for favors? Don't you have your own resources? Come on, you're my most trusted ally. I know you'll come through. Kai sighed, knowing he'd likely have to deal with Team Rocket eventually. Fine, but it'll be a while before I'm in Johto. After the Indigo League, I'm heading to the Orange Islands first. That's fine, we still have cleanup work here. Good luck winning that championship. In the player lounge at the ice arena, Chloe sat casually, swinging her legs and flicking her ponytail. A smartphone displayed a video of Gary Oak's battles, and she jotted notes, glancing at the screen. I have to admit, compared to you, this Gary Oak has so many Pokémon, Chloe said, handing her notes to Kai. In his last 3 matches, he used completely different Pokémon each time. I have no idea which he'll send out next. Kai chuckled, brushing Jolteon's fur. If you can't predict it, don't bother. The goal is to defeat them all. Having too many Pokémon can be a double-edged sword. It's tough to balance communication and training. Chloe nodded, but are you confident you can beat him? Maybe, Kai replied. No one can guarantee a win. I know enough about Gary to be cautious. He acts arrogant, but he's sharp and strategic. He's especially skilled with ground and normal types. Suddenly, an announcement blared. Player Kai, your match is about to begin. Please proceed to the arena entrance immediately. Kai stood, returning Jolteon to its Pokeball. Well, it's time. Wish me luck. Chloe clasped her hands, smiling. Of course! You've got this! Ice Arena Commentary Booth. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final match of today's Ice Arena battles. This 4th round match will determine the last contender for the top 16. The commentator's voice echoed through the arena, igniting thunderous applause. First, let's welcome Kai from the red corner. He's become a fan favorite, defeating a championship contender without losing a single Pokémon. Kai emerged, calm and confident, waving to the crowd. His image projected on the giant screen drew cheers from his growing fan base. And now, from the green corner, let's welcome Gary Oak. Known for his impressive Pokémon collection, Gary has battled through the competition with remarkable skill. Gary strolled out, confidence unwavering, but noticed the crowd's applause wasn't as enthusiastic for him. After this match, they'll know who the real star is, he thought. Battle Arena. Kai stepped onto the trainer's platform, glancing at Gary before inspecting the icy battlefield. Both trainers, please select your Pokémon, the referee announced. Gary smirked, confident in his choice. He threw his Pokeball. Go, my Pokemon. A flash revealed Gary's Fearow. Oh, Gary has chosen Fearow, an unconventional choice for an icy battlefield, but it could pay off. Kai calmly released his Pokemon, and Gary's confidence faltered. Jolteon? He thought. Electric types aren't strong against ice, but Fearow is vulnerable to electric attacks. The crowd cheered passionately for both trainers, with bikers and Gary's cheerleaders seated next to each other, creating a lively atmosphere. Kai was surprised when Gary sent out Fearow. Despite its medium size, it couldn't compare to majestic flying Pokémon. He hadn't thought much about this battle, believing the cracked ice would give his electric type an advantage. Kai hadn't expected Gary to send out a flying-type Pokémon, which was at a disadvantage against electric types. What is he thinking? Kai wondered. Must be overconfident. As the referee signaled the start of the battle, Kai called out, Jolteon, use Thunder Shock. A burst of electricity shot toward Fearow, but with a quick flap of its wings, Fearow dodged effortlessly. Gary, unwilling to swap Pokémon early in the match, watched as Fearow evaded Jolteon's attacks. Determined to regain control, he shouted, Fearow, use Aerial Ace. Fearow circled above, searching for an opening. Jolteon dodged to the ice blocks. Jolteon leapt toward the scattered ice chunks for cover, but Fearow quickly located its target and dove, striking Jolteon hard. Ice shards exploded around them, but Jolteon remained steady. Now's your chance, Jolteon! Use Thunderbolt. Jolteon unleashed a powerful surge of energy, striking Fearow directly and causing it to screech in pain. Seeing the damage, Gary recalled Fearow. Return, Fearow. This isn't working. He sent out Nidoking, drawing gasps from the audience. Wow, it's Nidoking, the announcer exclaimed. Gary knew Nidoking was his best chance against Jolteon, as it was immune to electric attacks. Kai assessed the battlefield, noting the cracks forming in the ice beneath Jolteon. Knowing Jolteon wouldn't be effective against Nidoking, he called it back. Jolteon, return. He tossed another Pokeball. Come out, Gyarados. With a thunderous roar, Gyarados appeared, its eyes locked on Nidoking. Gary clenched his teeth. Gyarados? Seriously? Another type advantage. Both trainers shouted their commands. Gyarados, use Aqua Tail. Nidoking, double kick. Gyarados' serpentine movements gave it the edge on the slippery ice, while Nidoking struggled to keep its footing. As they closed in, Gyarados' tail swirled with water. Nidoking managed to kick Gyarados once, but was then struck hard by Gyarados' tail, sending it crashing into the ice. Nidoking, move quickly, Gary yelled. Nidoking scrambled to its feet, thrusting its horn into Gyarados' mouth, causing it to roar in pain. Enraged, Gyarados thrashed wildly, slamming into Nidoking and shattering the ice around them. This is bad, the commentator shouted. Gyarados has entered a berserk state. Can Nidoking withstand this relentless fury? Fortunately, Gyarados' rage meant it wasn't just targeting Nidoking, it was destroying the surrounding ice too. Amid the chaos, Nidoking managed to escape. Use Poison Jab, Gary commanded. Nidoking charged forward, but the attack failed to poison Gyarados. Not even Lady Luck is on my side today, Gary muttered. Kai remained calm, waiting for Gyarados to regain its senses. When it did, he commanded, Gyarados, use Aqua Tail again. Gyarados charged forward, but as Nidoking tried to evade, it slipped on the ice and fell. Gary was caught off guard. Suddenly, the ice beneath them cracked, plunging both Pokémon into the frigid water below. Splash! Gary's face went pale. Oh no, the audience gasped in shock. Kai, however, remained composed. The collapse was part of his strategy. Underwater, Gyarados thrived while Nidoking struggled to stay afloat. Come on, Nidoking, Gary shouted desperately, but Nidoking was nowhere to be seen. After tense moments, Gyarados burst from the surface, roaring triumphantly, having secured victory. Gary's heart sank as Nidoking failed to resurface. Kai gestured to Gyarados, which dove back into the water and emerged with Nidoking's unconscious body, placing it gently on the shore. The audience erupted in cheers as the referee raised his flag. It's over! Gyarados wins in an incredible underwater showdown. Gary, frustrated, recalled Nidoking, counting Furo he had lost 2 battles in a row. His final Pokémon would need to turn the tide. Should he send out Blastoise or Arcanine? Both were at a disadvantage against Kai's Pokémon. Gary had anticipated a tough battle, but never imagined he'd be pushed to this point. His gaze shifted to Kai, who stood confidently, seemingly untouchable. Doubt crept in. Was he really that strong, or was Gary just weak in comparison? The thought unsettled him, making his earlier confidence feel foolish. Just then, a sharp, enthusiastic cheer broke through his thoughts. Gary turned to see his cheerleaders waving pom-poms and cheering him on. Their expressions told him everything. Don't give up. His heart stirred when he spotted an older figure in the crowd. Grandpa? Professor Oak sat among the audience, his supportive gaze fixed on Gary. Finally decided to leave the lab to watch my match, huh? Gary muttered, but the professor's presence renewed his determination. Focusing back on Kai, Gary thought, I've come this far, I won't back down now. With a deep breath, he sent out his third Pokémon. Come on out. Electabuzz, you're my final hope. A flash of blue light revealed Electabuzz roaring confidently. After careful consideration, Gary has chosen Electabuzz as his final Pokémon. The announcer boomed. Kai calmly recalled Gyarados and selected his next Pokémon. Jolteon, you're up. Jolteon emerged, ready for battle. As the referees signaled the start, both Pokémon charged at each other, unleashing electric-type attacks. The arena crackled, with electricity, the ice cracking and melting under the pressure. When the chaos settled, Jolteon and Electabuzz stood panting on separate ice floes. Gary noticed troubling signs. Electabuzz had scorch marks, while Jolteon looked almost untouched. Why isn't Jolteon taking damage? He wondered, then realized, Chuch! Jolteon has Volti Absorb. Frustrated, Gary instructed Electabuzz to switch tactics. Electabuzz used Light Screen, follow up with Swift and Low Kick, but without its strongest moves, Electabuzz struggled against Jolteon's agility. The climax came when Jolteon used Pin Missile, knocking Electabuzz out. The crowd erupted in cheers, but Gary staggered back, realizing the difference in strength. The referee raised his flag. Electabuzz is unable to battle. The winner is Kai. Applause thundered, but Gary knew it wasn't for him. He recalled Electabuzz and walked off the field in a daze. Meanwhile, Kai exited the arena through the player tunnel, where Misty, Brock, and Chloe surrounded him, clapping enthusiastically. Further away, bikers blocked reporters from disrupting the moment. "You played brilliantly," Brock praised. "Congratulations on your victory. Now you and Ash are in the top 16. Kai beamed. Advancing to the 5th round was a huge milestone. "Where's Ash?" he asked, spotting Professor Oak and Dillia nearby. Misty chuckled. After watching Gary leave in a huff, Ash went after him. He's probably trying to console him. Turning to Professor Oak, Kai said, "I'm sorry, Professor. Defeating Gary was necessary, but I hope he's not too upset." Professor Oak waved dismissively. "It's fine. In any competition, there are winners and losers. This loss will be a valuable lesson for Gary." "A lesson?" Chloe asked, confused. "Yes," the professor replied. "Gary tends to underestimate others. This loss will help him mature."
Kai nodded, impressed.
The professor's prediction proved true. After losses at both the Indigo and Silver conferences, Gary grew into a respectful Pokémon researcher. With the qualifiers over, the top 16 players faced off in the championship rounds. Given a 2-day break to prepare, Kai trained his Pokémon with Misty and Brock, fine-tuning his strategy. During the break, Ash met a competitor named Richie. Team Rocket tried to steal Pikachu, but Ash and Richie teamed up to foil their plans. When Ash introduced Richie, Kai scrutinized him. Richie's Pikachu and outfit were strikingly similar to Ash's, but he seemed calmer. "My name's Richie," he said with a smile. "Nice to meet you." Brock and Misty welcomed Richie, but Kai leaned toward Chloe and whispered, "Doesn't he seem like an upgraded version of Ash?" Chloe stifled a laugh and nodded. "He really does." Kai chuckled. "Mark my words, Richie will be Ash's toughest opponent. I wouldn't be surprised if Ash's journey ends here." When the break ended, the top 16 gathered at the venue for the next stage. The arena had changed dramatically, with a large, shallow pool filled with 16 Magikarp. A staff member explained, "Welcome, trainers. The top 16 will be split into 2 groups. To determine your group, you'll use fishing rods to catch a Magikarp, each marked with a number for your placement." Kai scanned the competitors. Ash, Richie, Otoshi, and Shingo were familiar faces among new challengers. Otoshi approached with a grin. "You've been making waves, Kai. After beating 2 favorites, you're the talk of the tournament." Kai shrugged modestly. "Maybe, but it's not like I'm invincible, just lucky." Otoshi laughed. "Well, luck or not, you've got everyone's attention. Let's see how far you can go." As contestants took their fishing rods, Kai cast his line into the pool. Despite Magikarp swimming past his hook, none took the bait. Meanwhile, Ash was incredibly lucky. He reeled in a Magikarp immediately, but when the staff announced the matchups, Ash's smile faded. "Contestant Ash, your number is A3, your opponent is A3, Richie." "What?" Ash and Richie exchanged shocked looks, their hearts sinking. They had just become friends, and now they had to battle for a spot in the next round. The atmosphere grew tense as they processed the news. Kai shook his head, watching the scene unfold. What a twist of fate. He had no time to worry about others. His hook remained empty while most contestants had already matched up. "This is strange," Chloe said, squatting beside Kai. "The bait is fine, your hand is steady, so why aren't these Magikarp biting?" "Who knows?" Kai frowned. "At this rate, I might have to dive in and grab one myself." Misty leaned closer to the water. "I think I know what's happening. Magikarp may seem mindless, but they can sense Gyarados' presence. Maybe they're scared of you." "Really?" Kai scratched his head. "Will I be stuck here until everyone else finishes?" Just then, Haunter peeked out and used its powers to drag a Magikarp toward the hook. It opened its mouth and latched onto the bait. Haunter vanished back into the shadows. "Whoa, it bit the hook," Kai exclaimed, reeling it in quickly. The staff examined the Magikarp. "Contestant, Kai, your number is A4. Your next opponent is contestant, Jim." Kai saw an unfamiliar young man with green, curly hair, With the matchups finalized, he returned the fishing rod and glanced at the schedule. If Ash defeated Richie, his next match would be against Kai, which would emotionally toll Ash. After the lottery concluded, Ash left silently, his usual energy replaced by a heavy heart, concerned. Misty and Brock greeted Kai before following Ash to console him. Kai sighed, turning to Chloe. Now that we know the matchups, let's head out. His match with Jim was scheduled for tomorrow afternoon, giving him time to research strategies. Later, back in the dormitory, Kai's Dratini was playfully coiled around Chloe's Wailord plushie. Dratini squeaked happily upon seeing him. Its shy personality had improved, and Kai believed it would be ready to battle confidently after the Indigo League. As he settled down, Kai received a message from a friend in Kalos, linking to an article, Trainer from Kalos travels thousands of miles to compete in the Indigo League. Although the article hadn't gained much traction, it excited his friend, who had been cheering him on. The bright sun shone down on Indigo Stadium, packed with 50,000 spectators buzzing with energy after a morning of intense battles. Ash's match was scheduled for 1 p.m., and family and friends arrived early to secure their seats. Nearby, the announcer hyped up the crowd, introducing the competitors. Richie walked confidently into the arena, but when it was Ash's turn, there was confusion. Ash was nowhere to be seen. The announcer called for Ash repeatedly, but he didn't appear. The crowd murmured, and even the Pokémon League organizers were caught off guard. Staff hurried to Ash's waiting room, but it was empty. "What's going on?" someone in the audience asked. "Is he forfeiting?" Despite speculation, the rules dictated that a competitor couldn't be disqualified before the official start time. Delia looked worried. Could Ash have overslept? "That's impossible," Misty replied. "He had breakfast with us and rushed off with Pikachu." "He hasn't returned since then," Professor Oak frowned. "Could he be in trouble?" Seeing Misty and Brock ready to look for Ash, Kai stopped them. "Let's wait a little longer. Ash must be caught up in something." As time passed, the audience grew impatient. Just as the referee was about to declare Richie the winner by default, Richie intervened. "Please wait." Seeing Richie's sincerity, the referee consulted league officials, granting a 10-minute extension. As the final minutes ticked away, Ash's voice rang out. "Wait, I'm here!" The crowd turned as Ash descended in a hot air balloon, gripping a rope with one hand and Pikachu with the other. His dramatic entrance lightened the mood, and the audience's frustration faded. The referee signaled the start of the match. Richie sent out Butterfree while Ash called on Squirtle. The matches were 3-on-3 battles on dirt arenas, showcasing the trainers' strategies. Butterfree and Squirtle exchanged attacks evenly at first, but the crowd began to grow restless. Finally, Richie commanded Butterfree to release Sleep Powder, catching Squirtle off guard. It collapsed, fast asleep. Ash called out, but Squirtle didn't wake up. The referee raised the flag, announcing the result of the first battle. Recalling Squirtle, Ash considered his next move. Suddenly, Pikachu darted forward and launched a Thunderbolt at Butterfree. Caught off guard, Butterfree was struck, and Pikachu unleashed another Thunderbolt, leaving it paralyzed. Despite the victory, Pikachu was visibly fatigued. Chloe, sitting in the audience, noticed something was wrong. "Is Ash's Pikachu okay? It looks exhausted." Kai nodded seriously. This battle highlights two of Ash's biggest challenges, his Pokémon stamina and their occasional disobedience. With the score tied at 1-1, Richie sent out Charmander, which relentlessly unleashed Ember attacks, forcing Pikachu to dodge and draining its energy. Finally, Charmander landed a decisive tackle, knocking Pikachu out of bounds. The audience groaned with dissatisfaction. What kind of match is this? This is supposed to be the top 16. Brock and Misty shifted uncomfortably in their seats, wanting to defend Ash but acknowledging Pikachu's condition and the lack of excitement in the battle. Unaware of the audience's criticisms, Ash sent out Charizard as his final Pokémon. Charizard seemed uninterested, barely reacting. Richie's Charmander launched an Ember attack that only grazed Charizard. Annoyed, Charizard retaliated with a massive flamethrower, sending Charmander scurrying away. Realizing Charmander was outmatched, Richie sent out his final Pokémon, a Pikachu with a tuft of fur on its head. But Charizard lay down, completely disinterested. Ash begged Charizard to fight, but it stubbornly ignored him. The crowd erupted in uproar. After waiting for Ash to regain control, the referee raised the flag. Charizard is disqualified due to lack of fighting spirit. Richie wins. Stunned, Ash stepped back. Bitter about the outcome, he composed himself and shook Richie's hand. The audience was less forgiving, booing and criticizing the match's lackluster ending. Online discussions were harsh, but Ash was shielded from it without access to devices. Kai, watching from the stands, sighed. I told Ash to bond more with Charizard. Nothing's changed. As spectators began to leave, muttering angrily, Kai and the group headed to meet Ash. A few minutes later, Ash emerged carrying Pikachu. His face showed disappointment. Seeing the group, he gave a weak smile. Sorry, everyone, for letting you down. Dahlia, Professor Oak, Misty, and Brock comforted him, lifting his spirits slightly. Rubbing his nose, Ash turned to Kai. It's up to you now, Kai. Don't let everyone down. Kai grinned and patted him on the shoulder. Don't worry, Ash. Every trainer faces losses. You will learn and come back stronger. Ash stared at him incredulously. Is that supposed to be comforting? It sounds like a curse. With Ash disqualified, Kai's battle started late in the evening. Despite the delay, the crowd's energy surged as he took the stage, met with thunderous cheers. His opponent, Jim, sent out Persian while Kai chose Venusaur. Venusaur dominated the battle, using Razor Leaf and Vine Whip to control the field. After charging up a Solar Beam, it knocked Persian out completely, earning applause. Jim sent out Dodrio next, but Kai countered with Jolteon. Jim felt the same powerlessness Gary had experienced against Kai. As Dodrio fell behind, it struggled to keep up with Jolteon's speed and electric-type attacks. Jolteon, use Thunderbolt, Kai commanded. The decisive attack struck Dodrio, leaving it unable to continue. The referee declared victory, and the crowd cheered. Ladies and gentlemen, the announcer exclaimed, Kai has a commanding 2-0 lead. Could this be another clean sweep? Jim, unwilling to give up, recalled Dodrio and sent out his final Pokemon, Golem. Kai recalled Jolteon and sent out Blastoise, which had a significant advantage. Golem showcased tenacity, pushing through Blastoise's water-type moves until it attempted a seismic toss. It's going for it, the announcer cried. Can Golem turn the tide against Kai's Blastoise? As they plummeted, Blastoise struggled to break free. Blastoise, use Withdraw, Kai commanded. Blastoise quickly retracted into its shell just as Golem slammed it down. When the dust settled, Golem was battered, but Blastoise emerged unscathed. Jim sighed, realizing he had no options left. I surrender, he said, heavy with resignation. The referee blinked in surprise. What? There's no point in continuing, I've lost. Jim understood that even if he somehow defeated Blastoise, Kai still had 2 more Pokemon ready to fight. Jim has surrendered, the announcer declared. Let's congratulate Kai on advancing to the next round. The stadium erupted in applause as fans cheered for Kai's flawless victory. In the stands, Ash watched intently, clenching his fists. While both were first-time participants, their performances couldn't have been more different. Kai dominated every match, while Ash struggled to reach the top 16. After a day off, Kai returned to the Indigo Stadium for the quarterfinals. The matches would now be 6-on-6 battles. Kai's opponent was Richie, the trainer who had eliminated Ash. Richie's team included Pikachu, Charmander, Butterfree, Wartortle, Gloom, and Monferno. 3 Pokemon he had used against Ash. To counter, Kai sent out Gardevoir, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Gyarados, and Jolteon. The audience speculated about Richie being Ash's long-lost sibling due to their similarities. After Ash's elimination, he decided to stay and observe the tournament, hoping to learn from Kai. When the match began, Ash expected a strong fight from Richie, but he was surprised to see Richie completely outmatched. One by one, Richie's Pokemon fell, leading to a decisive 6-0 victory for Kai. Rubbing his eyes in disbelief, Ash struggled to understand how Richie, who had defeated him, could lose so badly in under 30 minutes. The gap in power left him speechless, though he felt a twinge of sympathy for Richie. This was brutal, Ash muttered. If he had faced Kai instead, would the result have been different? That thought eased his disappointment a bit. For Kai, Richie's performance was average compared to trainers like Ash and Gary. It seemed Richie made it to the top 8 more from luck than skill. As Kai exited the player's tunnel, the announcer's voice rang out, Let's congratulate Kai on advancing to the semifinals with a perfect 6-0 victory, setting a new record for the Indigo League. Curious, Kai listened as the announcer explained that no trainer had ever advanced to the semifinals without a loss. The crowd erupted in applause, thrilled by Kai's achievement. Though flattered, Kai remained humble, knowing the competition would be tougher in future tournaments. After reuniting with Brock and Chloe, they celebrated with a hearty meal. Most competitors had been eliminated, leaving the village eerily quiet. With Ash sharing Kai's dormitory after his elimination, the league's policy to reclaim accommodations seemed cold-hearted to outsiders. The next day, Kai faced Lily in the semifinals. Unlike previous matches, this battle was challenging. Lily's Rhyhorn and Dustox showcased their potential, but Kai's Pokémon performed flawlessly, leading to another perfect 6-0 victory. The crowd was electrified by his dominant performance. Reflecting on his journey, Kai felt accomplished, standing just one step away from the Indigo League Championship. His final opponent was a mysterious trainer he vaguely remembered from New Island. Once the finalists were confirmed, the league announced a 3-day break, setting the final match for Wednesday at 10 a.m. During this time, promotional materials featuring Kai and his rival Andrew circulated widely, generating excitement across Kanto. Polls showed Kai with 93% of the votes, and experts favored him to win the championship. Amid the hype, Kai remained cautious and dedicated, renting an indoor arena for rigorous training with Misty, Brock, Ash, and their Pokémon. In the arena, Gyarados and Blastoise trained under Misty's guidance, while Charizard and Ash's Charizard glared at each other, ready to battle. Kai watched with satisfaction, knowing he had prepared well. Suddenly, Martha entered, informing him of reporters outside, wanting interviews. Kai decided to talk to them, knowing turning them away would seem rude. When he appeared, reporters surged forward with questions about Andrew, his confidence, and even his past. Kai responded cautiously, trying to avoid any controversy. The day before the finals, unexpected guests arrived to cheer him on. Professor Cerise, his wife Talia, their son Parker, and others. Kai was filled with warmth seeing them. When Sabrina unexpectedly showed up, he was pleasantly surprised. She explained her busy schedule, but was happy to take a break. Kai introduced her to everyone, and the dormitory filled up quickly. That evening, he arranged for a barbecue dinner outside, and everyone enjoyed the lively atmosphere. Brock pulled Kai aside, asking for tips on getting along with girls. Kai smirked, teasing him about being handsome. Ash, overhearing, groaned, "Why does everyone care about girls? Pokémon are way cooler." On the day of the finals, dazzling fireworks lit up the sky above the Indigo Stadium, signaling the start of the event. The scent of gunpowder electrified the crowd as cheers erupted from the stands, immersing everyone in the excitement of the grand finale. Dozens of mascot Pokémon paraded around the stadium, waving to the spectators. Attentive fans quickly noticed that the mascots represented the Pokémon used by the two finalists. For Professor Cerise and his wife, this was their first time experiencing such energy. Seated in the audience, Professor Cerise marveled. "So this is the Indigo League? The atmosphere is incredible." Chloe had to yell to be heard over the noise. "This is just the beginning. Wait until the battles start." Suddenly, thousands of balloons floated into the bright blue sky, and the crowd roared in amazement. In contrast, Sabrina sat quietly, her calm demeanor standing out amid the excitement. As President Charles Goodshow opened the ceremony, the announcer's booming voice echoed, "Ladies and gentlemen, the final battle of the Indigo League is about to begin." Applause thundered through the stadium, and the announcer introduced guest commentator Lance, the Dragon Master, who received deafening cheers. Lance greeted the crowd, sharing his admiration for both finalists. "Andrew has shown great skill, but Kai's strength and strategy are remarkable. I'd love to battle him myself." The audience was stunned by Lance's praise. As the players entered the arena, the announcer announced, "First up, representing the green side, it's Andrew." The crowd applauded as Andrew waved. Then, "And now, representing the red side, please welcome Kai." The cheers for Kai were overwhelming, leaving Andrew feeling overshadowed. Kai walked to the trainer's box, recalling Lance's earlier comments. How did Lance recognize him? Pushing these thoughts aside, he focused on the battle as the referee signaled for the trainers to send out their first Pokémon. Both trainers released their Pokémon, and the announcer exclaimed, "Both have chosen flying types." Andrew sent out Pidgeot while Kai released Charizard. With no type advantage, Andrew felt relieved, but knew Kai would be a tough opponent. Charizard displayed its fiery spirit, glaring at Pidgeot. The crowd laughed at Charizard's fierce expression, while Pidgeot nervously looked away. When the clock struck 10, the match officially began. Charizard unleashed flames at Pidgeot, and Andrew called, "Pidgeot, use quick attack." Pidgeot darted around the fire, but Charizard countered with a slash. Both Pokémon took hits, but quickly regained their footing. The host turned to Lance, asking who had the upper hand. Lance diplomatically replied, "The winner will depend on endurance and strategy." The two Pokémon engaged in a breathtaking aerial contest, with Charizard and Pidgeot exchanging powerful moves. Kai seized an opportunity. "Charizard, use Fire Fang." Charizard lunged, biting Pidgeot, which fainted. The audience erupted in cheers as the referee declared Charizard the winner. Andrew recalled Pidgeot, nodding solemnly, and released his next Pokémon. "Come out, Rhyhorn." The sturdy Rhyhorn pawed at the ground, ready to take on Charizard. Recognizing the type advantage, Kai returned Charizard to its Pokeball. "Great job, Charizard. Now, Gyarados, I choose you." Gyarados emerged with an intimidating roar, locking eyes with Rhyhorn. The crowd cheered, hyped by Gyarados' dramatic entrance. Rhyhorn fidgeted nervously under Gyarados' gaze, prompting Andrew to calm it down. The host joked about Kai's strategy of psychological pressure, and the audience laughed, their attention focused on the impending clash between Gyarados and Rhyhorn in this thrilling final match. Gyarados' raw strength left a lasting impression, making it a favorite in the Indigo League's My Favorite Pokémon poll, far ahead of the competition. On the battlefield, Rhyhorn may have impressive power, but it's no pushover. Known for its immense strength, Rhyhorn can smash through buildings with a single charge. However, its short legs limit its turning ability, and it often runs wildly until exhausted. Facing Rhyhorn, Gyarados had both a type advantage and raw power. With Rhyhorn's rock and ground typing making it 4 times weak to water, the odds were stacked against it. Andrew, Rhyhorn's trainer, quickly commanded, "Rhyhorn, use Slam." Rhyhorn charged like a tank, shaking the ground as it barreled toward Gyarados. Boom. But Gyarados wasn't known for speed on land. Instead, Kai prepared for a counterattack. Gyarados, Hydro Pump. Gyarados unleashed a torrent of water, hitting Rhyhorn squarely, yet Rhyhorn powered through, ramming its horn into Gyarados. Gyarados roared in pain, staggering but managing to stabilize itself. Kai frowned, realizing Rhyhorn's ability was reckless, which boosted damage at the cost of recoil. Andrew smirked. "You're sharp. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy." Lance explained to the audience, reckless increases damage, but comes with a cost. Gyarados struggled because of it. The host asked if Rhyhorn could turn the battle around, but Lance shook his head, stating, "The type disadvantage is too significant." As the battle continued, Kai adapted his strategy, keeping Gyarados close to Rhyhorn to prevent another slam. Desperate, Andrew ordered Rhyhorn use Earthquake. The arena shook violently, but Gyarados countered with Aqua Tail, dealing massive damage. With Rhyhorn's health critically low, Andrew reached for his Pokeball, but Kai anticipated it. "Gyarados, wrap it up." Gyarados coiled tightly around Rhyhorn, preventing its recall. "It's time to finish this," Kai declared. "Gyarados, crunch." Gyarados bit down on Rhyhorn's weak spot, and Rhyhorn collapsed, fainting. Rhyhorn is unable to battle. Gyarados wins, the referee announced. 2-0, the host exclaimed. Kai dominates with his suffocating rhythm. The crowd erupted, chanting, "Kai, Kai, 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 Kai." Kai felt adrenaline rush through him, while Andrew faced despair, realizing the gap between them. This was supposed to be an even fight, Andrew thought, frustrated. "I fought hard to reach the finals, but how did I end up against someone so overwhelming?" Shaking off his doubts, he grabbed his third Pokeball, Venusaur. Andrew sent out his strongest Pokemon, hoping to turn the tide. Although Gyarados' flying type posed a threat to Venusaur, Kai had other plans. He recalled Gyarados, but before he could act, Haunter emerged from his shadow. "Let me handle this one. You want a battle?" Kai asked, calculating his options. "All right, but be careful." Haunter floated toward the battlefield, calling back, "Just sit back and enjoy the show." The announcer excitedly declared, Andrew has sent out his Venusaur. Despite the odds, many believed Venusaur could take down at least 2 of Kai's Pokémon. But Lance had a different view. Haunter is Kai's strongest Pokémon. This battle won't be straightforward. As the battle began, it quickly became clear Venusaur was no match for Haunter. Every attack was dodged or countered, and a charged solar beam was neutralized by Haunter's Shadow Ball. Andrew was left speechless as Venusaur fell to its knees. The crowd murmured in disbelief. They expected a dramatic clash, but Venusaur's defeat was swift. Kai stood motionless, hands in pockets, letting Haunter take control. In a final move, Haunter vanished and reappeared behind Venusaur, delivering a devastating nightshade, sealing the victory. In the Indigo Stadium's control room, Director John was euphoric as rating soared. Kai's success validated his decision to invest in him. Just then, President Charles Goodshow entered, curious about the ratings. Not bad, John replied, trying to sound casual. We've broken the historical record. Goodshow rolled his eyes, saying, You're not the one battling, so why the smug attitude? As they watched the 4th round, Andrew sent out Scyther against Kai's Jolteon. Despite Scyther's speed, it struggled against Jolteon's electric-type moves. Goodshow sighed, to be young again. If I were 30 years younger, I'd be out there competing. John chuckled, You've got at least another 30 years ahead of you. Were you a trainer in your youth? Goodshow laughed, Indeed. I was one of the most respected trainers in Kanto. Watching Kai reminds me of my younger self. John froze, eyes darting between the confident figure of Kai on the screen and the short-weathered man before him. The contrast was staggering. Charm, he thought, glancing at Goodshow. No offense, but this has to be a joke. Suppressing disbelief, John forced a polite smile. Of course, Mr. President, I'm sure Kai inherited your charm. On the battlefield, Jolteon unleashed a lightning bolt, sending Scyther flying over 10 meters. It crashed at Andrew's feet, battered and scarred. Andrew's heart raced as he saw his 4th Pokémon fall, 4-0. If this continued, he'd be a stepping stone for Kai's glory. As the referee called for his next Pokémon, Andrew returned Scyther to his Pokéball and released Sandslash. Though Sandslash was immune to Jolteon's electric attacks, Andrew knew it wouldn't be enough. Kai will just switch Pokemon, he thought bitterly. Sure enough, Kai recalled Jolteon and sent out Blastoise. Andrew clenched his fists. Blastoise again. Since the first match, Andrew hadn't been able to recover from Kai's strategic switches, but when Sandslash burrowed and unleashed Sandtomb, creating a massive pit, Andrew felt a flicker of hope. Blastoise lost its footing and slid into the pit, but Kai calmly commanded, Blastoise, aim your water gun at the center. The water saturated the sand, turning it into dense mud, allowing Blastoise to escape. Sandslash surfaced in panic, gasping for air. The crowd applauded Kai's countermeasure, but Andrew's hope faded. The battle raged on, with Sandslash slashing at Blastoise, but Blastoise retaliated with powerful waves of water. In a final clash, both Pokémon spun and collided, but Sandslash staggered before collapsing. Sandslash is unable to battle. Blastoise wins, the referee announced. The score is now 5-0, the announcer exclaimed. Kai is one step away from claiming the championship. The stadium erupted with cheers, chanting, Champion, Champion. Andrew stood frozen, pale as the crowd's support for Kai felt crushing. He glanced at the sympathetic referee and took a shaky breath, sending out his final Pokémon, Hitmonlee. In response, Kai returned Blastoise and released Gardevoir. Andrew's heart sank. A psychic type, this is hopeless. With a single psychic attack, Gardevoir swiftly ended the battle. The Indigo League concluded, and colorful ribbons rained down, and the champion of the Indigo League is K.I., the announcer boomed, celebrating his flawless victory. K.I., 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 K.I. The crowd erupted, and even Lance at the commentary booth admired Kai's performance. As the crowd cheered, Kai felt exhilaration. Holding back a grin, he raised his fist high, knowing the championship trophy was finally his. Amidst the cheers, Gardevoir returned to his side, and Kai wrapped his arm around her shoulder, raising his fist in victory. The crowd roared, capturing the moment as trainers and fans witnessed his rise to glory. On the other side of the battlefield, Andrew retrieved his unconscious Pokémon, feeling disappointment and respect. He approached Kai, pausing a few steps away. Congratulations, Andrew said, steady despite his defeat. Kai hesitated, wanting to offer encouragement, but remembering Andrew's memory loss. Thank you, he replied sincerely. Don't let this loss discourage you. You gave it everything. I believe you'd have a great chance at winning this tournament next time. Andrew shook his head with a rueful laugh. Thanks, but I think I'll explore the world for a while and leave the tournaments to you. Kai blinked, caught off guard by Andrew's finality, but respected his decision. Good luck, Kai. You deserve this victory, Andrew said, turning away with purpose. Kai watched him leave, respect growing for Andrew. He turned back to the crowd, raising his fist again before heading to the waiting room. A referee intercepted him. Contestant Kai, please don't leave yet. There will be a grand closing event, and your attendance is mandatory. Kai nodded with a smile. Understood. Thank you. Walking back to the waiting room felt surreal. The crowd's cheers echoing in his ears. Opening the door, a loud pop sprayed cold champagne all over him. But he sputtered, laughter erupting around him. He was pulled into a room of familiar faces. Professor Cerise grinned proudly with an empty champagne bottle. Chloe, Misty, Brock, and Ash were there, all smiling. Our champion has returned, Brock announced, clapping Kai on the shoulder. Kai laughed, wiping champagne from his face. You guys planned this, didn't you? Of course, Chloe winked. We knew you'd win. Ash and Pikachu bounced with excitement while Misty smiled warmly. Congratulations, Kai, Brock said. Sabrina stepped forward, handing Kai a towel. Congratulations, champion, she said quietly. Kai took the towel, grinning. The title felt strange, but filled him with an indescribable sense of accomplishment. As Kai wiped himself dry, he looked around the room, realizing how many friends he had made during his journey. It was heartwarming to see them all here to celebrate. From the back, Misha and Marth, familiar faces from his past, approached with playful grins. Congrats, big bro, Marth said, punching Kai lightly. You being champion is huge. Now people won't underestimate us when we bike together. Kai shot him a sharp look. Don't use my name to get into trouble, all right? Misha laughed, hands up in mock surrender. Relax. We're here to celebrate, but we came to say goodbye. It's time for us to head home. Already? Kai asked, surprised. Misha nodded. We've been here long enough. Kai smiled. Why not stay one more night? We should celebrate properly. After exchanging glances, Misha and Marth agreed. Professor Cerise poured champagne for the adults and juice for the younger trainers. Ash, Misty, and Chloe protested, wanting champagne, and Cerise eventually relented, pouring them each a small amount. Everyone raised their glasses, and Professor Cerise spoke, to Kai, our champion, and to the friendships that made this journey unforgettable. Cheers, everyone echoed, filled with joy. The celebration continued late into the night. Sabrina blushed after one sip of champagne. Ash wrinkled his nose. This tastes terrible, like Tauros urine. Misty laughed. That's why you're still a kid, Ash. Their playful banter filled the room until Ash turned to Kai. So, what's next for us? Heading home? Brock chimed in. Not yet. There's still the closing ceremony. Kai nodded, thoughtful. Exactly. But our journey is far from over. This is just one chapter in a bigger adventure. As the celebration continued, excitement for the future grew. Ladies and gentlemen, the Indigo League is coming to an end. Let's welcome all the trainers and Pokémon for their final appearance. Over 200 trainers emerged from the player tunnels, each accompanied by a Pokémon. The crowd cheered as they waved, celebrating even those who were eliminated early. In the stands, Misty and Brock applauded, scanning for a familiar face. Soon they spotted Ash walking with Richie, both looking nervous. Misty burst into laughter at Ash's stiff movements. After 10 minutes, the trainers assembled in front of the podium for President Goodshow's closing speech. His heartfelt remarks earned unanimous applause. Next, trainers received their participation souvenirs, a beautifully crafted memento resembling closed wings opening to reveal a golden Pokeball badge. Then came the awards presentation. Kai led Andrew and Lily to the podium. Goodshow awarded Andrew and Lily their medals before turning to Kai. Congratulations, young man. Your performance was exceptional. Keep working hard, and you'll achieve even greater success. Kai nodded solemnly. Thank you, Mr. President. I'll do my best. Goodshow placed the gold medal around Kai's neck and handed him a trophy shaped like a Pokeball. A photographer captured the moment as the crowd cheered louder, even as some eliminated trainers felt a twinge of envy. Night fell, and just as Kai raised his trophy, the stadium lights went out. Gasps rippled through the audience before fireworks erupted, painting the night with vibrant colors. After the ceremony, Kai and his friends celebrated at a nearby restaurant. The excitement buzzed as people toasted their success. Kai found himself drinking more than planned. By the time he returned to his room, his head spun, and the smell of alcohol lingered. He collapsed onto his bed, staring at the ceiling, still in disbelief over his victory, gold medal, trophy, and over 300 million Poké-dollars. Even after taxes, he was now a millionaire. Kai glanced at his phone, flooded with congratulatory messages. Finally able to breathe, he began replying one by one. Morning brought goodbyes. Chloe left first with Professor Cerise to return to Vermilion City. Ash, Misty, and Brock prepared to leave for Pallet Town, where a banquet awaited Ash. With farewells exchanged, the dormitory emptied, leaving only Kai, Sabrina, and Misha and Marth. Kai approached Misha. What are your plans now that the tournament's over? Plans? Nothing special, I guess. I want to fund a place for you, a base where you can hang out and rest. It could be a bar or pool hall, a passive income for me. Misha's eyes lit up. Really? Boss, you're amazing? Kai smiled. Transferring 200 million Poké-dollars to her. It's up to you now. I trust you. Touched, Misha promised to manage it responsibly. They bid farewell, leaving Kai alone with Sabrina. So, are you heading back to Saffron City? Kai asked. Sabrina shook her head. No, I've decided to take a break from being a gym leader and travel with you instead. Kai blinked. Travel with me? Sabrina smirked. Why? Is that a problem? No. Of course not, Kai grinned. With you around, the journey will be even more exciting. Sabrina smiled warmly. So where are we headed next, champion? Kai pointed south, the Orange Islands. Let's go. A few days later, the scorching sun blazed down on Big Riddle Resort, a lively spot in Kanto. Despite the heat, people surfed, swam, and played volleyball. Among the crowd, two travelers stood out, Kai and Sabrina, fresh from their journey. Sabrina, uneasy under the onlookers' gazes, frowned. Why are they staring at us? Kai chuckled. I take it you're not used to going out much. If I were them and saw a beauty like you, I'd stare too. Sabrina caught Kai's clever compliment and allowed a faint smile to form. Even the relentless sun felt less oppressive. They left the crowded streets behind, revealing a stunning coastline with waves crashing against white sand. Kai sighed wistfully. If I didn't need to head to the Orange Islands soon, I'd love to spend a few carefree days here. Sabrina tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. I hear the Orange Islands are even more beautiful. Why rush? After your business there, we can relax somewhere quiet. Kai's mind wandered at her words, picturing Sabrina on a tropical beach in a stylish swimsuit. He quickly shook his head to dispel the thought, focusing on their plans instead. The fastest route to the Orange Islands was a ferry from Vermilion City, but they opted for a shorter route from Cinnabar Island, riding their Pokémon directly across the sea. They stopped at an outdoor goods store for supplies. Welcome, the shop assistant greeted them, and the cool air was a relief from the heat. Kai grinned. This feels like heaven. Pick whatever you need. It's on me. Sabrina rolled her eyes at his theatrics, but appreciated the gesture. This is my first time traveling like this. Any suggestions? First, clothing. You'll need something lightweight and comfortable, Kai replied, picking out a few items. When Sabrina emerged in a casual outfit, he was speechless. How do I look? She asked shyly.
You look amazing.
Trust my judgment. You could wear anything and look great, he said enthusiastically. Sabrina smirked. Your sweet talk is unbelievable. Were you always like this? After settling on clothes, they grabbed essentials like water bottles and canned food. When they reached the tent section, Sabrina shook her head. I don't like sleeping outdoors. A tent feels more secure. Kai blinked in surprise when she chose a 4-person tent, but shrugged. Sure, if that's what you prefer. With their bags full, they left the store. The heat made walking unappealing, so Kai released Charizard. Charizard can carry us and our gear, he said with a grin. Charizard roared and lifted off, soaring through the sky. The chill wind made it pleasant, and Sabrina leaned closer to Kai's back to shield herself from the cold. Feeling her warmth against him, Kai's heart raced. Understanding her discomfort, he gently patted Charizard's neck, signaling it to descend. After hours of flying, a cluster of islands appeared on the horizon. Sabrina, look, an island ahead. Is this the Orange Islands? She asked. Kai checked his Pokegear. No, it's the Sevi Islands. We're still halfway. Sabrina frowned, unfamiliar with the area. As Charizard descended toward the largest island, she asked, "Are we landing here?" "Yep, Charizard needs a break and I want to check something out," Kai replied. The Sevi Islands, south of Kanto, consist of 7 main islands. They landed on Knot Island, known for its welcoming vibe. On the pristine beach, Sabrina snapped photos while Kai collected pearls as souvenirs. After brushing off the sand, they headed to town. Their first stop was a small tavern near the pier. They left Charizard outside with food before entering. The dimly lit room fell silent as they walked in, the fishermen staring until they settled at the bar. "What'll it be?" the bartender asked. "2 glasses of ice water and any local specialties," Kai replied. Before the bartender could respond, a woman nearby interjected, "Give them 2 orders of the Sevi Islands special seafood fried rice." "Put it on my tab." Startled, they turned to see a striking woman with bright red hair and a commanding presence. Sabrina's eyes widened. "You're Lorelei." Lorelei smiled warmly. "Long time no see, Sabrina. You must be the new champion of the Indigo League, right?" Kai was stunned. Meeting Lorelei here was unexpected. He took off his hat and sunglasses, extending his hand. "Yes, I'm Kai. Nice to meet you, Miss Lorelei." Lorelei's gaze flickered between them. "I never thought 2 people with such different styles would travel together. You seem quite compatible now." Kai smiled. "We didn't plan to stop here. Our destination was the Orange Islands, but we needed a break." Lorelei raised an eyebrow. "Oh, is that so?" She leaned in, lowering her voice. "I thought you were here for Moltres. It's said to live among the Sevi Islands." "There's a Moltres here," Sabrina exclaimed, turning sharply to Kai. Realizing his calm demeanor, she understood he had known all along. So that's why he wanted to stop here. Kai nodded. "You're well informed. Miss Lorelei, a flaming bird among the 7 islands? Who wouldn't want to see that?" Lorelei rolled her eyes playfully. "I grew up here hearing stories about Moltres since childhood. Honestly, I'm sick of them." "Wait, this is your hometown?" Kai asked, surprised. "Yup, it's not just a legend. Locals, including my grandparents, have seen traces of Moltres. Its elusive nature keeps most trainers away, but I know it's real." Just then, the shop owner returned with 2 steaming plates of seafood, fried rice. The aroma was rich and inviting. Kai eagerly took a bite, but was caught off guard by the spice, coughing violently. "Why is it so spicy?" Lorelei laughed, while Sabrina frowned after a cautious bite. "It's too spicy." The shop owner explained, "Fishermen battle the cold sea breeze. Spicy foods help keep them warm." Lorelei added, "It takes getting used to, but it's delicious." Reluctantly, Kai tried more bites and began to appreciate the dish. Sabrina, however, refused another bite, prompting Kai to request a milder option for her. As the shop owner went back to the kitchen, Lorelei leaned closer. "I know about your role in exposing Team Rocket's base under Celadon Game Corner. I need your help with something similar." Kai's expression hardened. "Does this involve Team Rocket?" "Yes! While they've weakened in Kanto, I've noticed unusual activity in the Sevi Islands. I suspect they're preparing something big." "Why not report this to Interpol?" Kai asked. Lorelei waved dismissively. "As an Elite 4 member, I must protect the region myself. You're a champion now. We're part of the same system, right?" Kai smirked. "When did I become part of the Pokémon League system?" Still, his interest in taking down Team Rocket aligned with Lorelei's mission. "Fine. I'll help, but I can only stay a few days. If this takes too long, you'll need someone else." "Don't worry, I've tracked their movements. It won't take long. If we succeed, I'll take you to find Moltres." "Wait, you know where it is?" Kai asked, startled. "Of course. It's said to reside in the depths of Lantern Hill. With my guidance, we'll find it." After lunch, they wasted no time and headed to their destination. Lorelei had already searched 1 island, finding nothing, so they took her speedboat to 2 islands. As they sped through the waves, Kai asked, "Miss Lorelei, if you're sure Moltres is here, why not capture it yourself?" "Because I'm an Ice-type Pokemon master. Capturing a Fire-type would contradict my specialty. Plus, Moltres is strong against my Ice Pokemon, so why invite trouble?" Kai realized Lorelei's focus on Ice-types limited her versatility. They arrived at 2 Island, officially known as Friendship Island, named for its 2 parallel mountains. The island was quieter than 1 Island, lacking the open-air market today. Sabrina noticed a newly opened game corner. Is that game corner new? Could it be another one of Team Rocket's operations? Lorelei shook her head. I investigated. It has no connection to Team Rocket, but it's attracting biker gangs. They could cause problems. Biker gangs? Sabrina was surprised. What are they even doing here? They moved deeper inland, searching Cape Brink, but finding no trace of Team Rocket. Let's move to the next location, Lorelei said. After searching 3 Island, they found no trace of Team Rocket, but enjoyed a lush orchard of wild berries. By sunset, they were exhausted and decided to rest at Lorelei's home on 4 Island. Lorelei's home was cozy, nestled by a small lake. Make yourselves at home, she said, opening the door. As Kai entered, he noticed a dark cave across the lake. What's that place? He asked. Lorelei smiled. Oh, that? I had it widened into a proper cave. It leads into the island's interior, a world of ice and snow. Are there Pokémon living in there? Kai asked. Of course. I trained my Pokémon there. When was the last time you went inside? He asked. About 2 weeks ago. Why? Kai hesitated. We've searched everywhere else and found no trace of Team Rocket. Have you considered they might be hiding in the cave? Lorelei froze, realizing the idea hadn't crossed her mind. Could Team Rocket really be hiding there? Though tempted to search immediately, Lorelei decided to wait until morning. Late that night, Kai lay in the guest room, unable to sleep. Moonlight streamed through the window. He retrieved the Ultra Balls containing Zapdos and Articuno. You two haven't stretched your wings since the Indigo League. Don't worry. Once I find Moltres, I'll let you battle to your heart's content. As soon as Kai finished speaking, the Ultra Balls trembled and opened. Zapdos and Articuno emerged, their majestic forms illuminating the room. The temperature dropped, and snowflakes drifted down as Articuno shimmered while Zapdos crackled with electricity. Chirp! They cried, startling Kai, who quickly pinched their beaks. Hey, keep it down. This isn't our house. Having been cooped up for so long, the Pokémon were restless. Kai decided to let them stretch their wings, but they quickly became too energetic. Articuno glided around the room, while Zapdos knocked books off a shelf. The noise caught someone's attention. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. In a flash, Kai returned them to their Ultra Balls just as Lorelei knocked on the door. Is everything all right? I thought I heard a noise. Nothing to worry about, just bump the bed, Kai replied quickly. I brought you a glass of milk. Can I come in? Once everything was in order, Kai opened the door. Lorelei stood there in pajamas, freshly washed hair cascading over her shoulders, holding a steaming glass of milk. Drink it while it's hot. The lake's cold currents make the nights chilly. Thanks! I was having trouble sleeping, Kai said, accepting the milk. After she left, he gulped it down, relieved. He guarded the secret of owning Zapdos and Articuno closely. The fewer who knew, the safer they would be. The next morning, after breakfast, Kai, Lorelei, and Sabrina bundled up and prepared lighting tools for their cave exploration. Lorelei had named it Frozen Waterfall Cave due to its icy cascades. The cave's entrance was narrow, but inside revealed a sprawling, icy wonderland. As they moved deeper, the path sloped downward, and sharp icicles hung overhead. Lorelei warned, be careful. Some areas have thin ice. We'll be careful, Kai assured her, staying close to Lorelei while helping Sabrina. Lorelei glanced back, smirking at the sight of them. A single man and a single woman traveling together, she thought. Sabrina says she's not interested in Kai, but I don't buy it. As they descended, the sound of cracking ice echoed beneath their steps. This cave extends several hundred meters down with multiple layers, Lorelei explained. An undercurrent? Did you dive into the freezing water? Kai asked, surprised. Lorelei chuckled. Of course, it was training. They encountered wild Pokémon like Dugong and Shelter, but paid little attention, allowing them to vanish. Lorelei's expression darkened. Something's not right. This cave used to be full of Pokémon. Is it always this quiet? Kai asked. Not at all. For it to be this empty, something must have happened deeper inside. They quickened their pace, the temperature dropping further. After traversing a narrow tunnel, they arrived at a breathtaking frozen waterfall. The enormous ice wall glittered in the faint light. Before they could marvel, voices echoed from deeper inside the cave. Exchanging glances, they moved quietly toward the noise. Rounding a massive icicle, they spotted Team Rocket grunts near a lake filled with floating ice. Team Rocket, Lorelei hissed, anger rising. The grunts were capturing fainted Pokémon from a large metal net. Lorelei's fists clenched. No wonder we've seen so few wild Pokémon. They've been poaching. Kai quickly assessed the situation. There were only a handful of grunts. He exchanged a plan with Lorelei and Sabrina before sending out their Pokémon, charging toward the grunts. "Hey, it's that meddlesome Lorelei," one grunt shouted in panic. "Meddlesome?" Lorelei muttered, leaping forward and landing a brutal elbow strike on the nearest grunt, who crumpled to the ground. Kai winced. He hadn't expected Lorelei to be so fierce. The remaining grunts sent out coughing and acants, but they were quickly overpowered. As the grunts attempted to flee, Sabrina immobilized them with her psychic powers. With the immediate danger neutralized, Kai rushed to free the captured Pokémon, who quickly scattered. Lorelei approached a subdued grunt, pressing her boot on his chest. "Talk. What is Team Rocket doing here?" The grunt sneered defiantly. "I won't betray Team Rocket." Lorelei's temper flared, and she kicked him in the ribs. The grunt remained defiant, frustrating Lorelei. Kai, having freed the Pokémon, turned back. "Miss Lorelei, this isn't working. They know you won't go too far." "What do you suggest?" she asked, narrowing her eyes. Kai rubbed his chin, a mischievous smile forming. "Maybe we should leave him here to freeze or dunk him in the lake." Lorelei, Team Rocket. Ignoring their horrified stares, Kai turned to Sabrina. "Sabrina, why don't you use that technique you used on Ash back in the Saffron Gym?" Sabrina nodded and raised her hand. In an instant, all but one grunt transformed into rag dolls, collapsing like empty sacks. "What the?" Psychic powers. The remaining grunt paled. "You're the Saffron Gym leader." "Correct," Kai said with a grin. "So unless you want to join your friends, you'll tell us everything." The grunt hesitated, visibly sweating, but the fear of being left in the freezing cave proved too much. "Fine, I'll talk." Kai clapped him on the shoulder with a smile. "Good choice." "See, Miss Lorelei, I'm helping. You're welcome." Lorelei stared at Kai, speechless, as his smug grin widened. After Kai's threat, the Team Rocket member dropped his resistance and became cooperative, answering all of Lorelei's questions. She learned that, after failing in Kanto, Team Rocket had turned to the Sevi Islands to regroup and capture Pokémon to boost their strength. To Lorelei's relief, they hadn't established a secret base, but only a hidden warehouse on 5 islands, sending just over a dozen members to operate there. "Who's in charge?" she demanded. The grunt hesitated, then replied, "It's Petrol, one of the 4 executives." "Petrol?" Lorelei's eyes narrowed, and Kai's expression hardened. He had faced Petrol before and knew better than to underestimate him. With useful intel gathered, Sabrina restored the other grunts to their original state. Kai used ropes from Team Rocket to tie them up and prepare for their exit. Just then, he noticed a strange piece of ice shimmering under an icicle. Curious, he picked it up. "What is this?" Lorelei's eyes lit up. "That's never melt ice. It absorbs energy, never melts, and boosts ice-type moves." Kai stuffed the ice into his backpack. "You think I'll give it to you? I have an ice Pokémon too." Lorelei suppressed her annoyance as they left the cave, escorting the grunts out. She contacted a local officer for backup near 5 Island to apprehend the remaining Rocket members. After a quick meal, they boarded a speedboat to 5 Island known as the Island of Time. Upon arrival, they moved past the bustling tourists and into the dense forest where Team Rocket's warehouse was hidden. Crouching behind a tree, Kai peered at the camouflaged building. "These guys are clever," he muttered. "Do you have a plan?" Lorelei asked. "Let's start from the perimeter to prevent escape," Kai suggested. Lorelei nodded and prepared to move while notifying the authorities. Suddenly, Kai pulled out a Gengar-shaped mask and put it on. "For someone like me, who does good deeds without recognition. They shouldn't see my face." He commanded Haunter to use hypnosis, swiftly incapacitating the patrolling Team Rocket members. Lorelei adjusted her glasses. Impressed. "Your Haunter is incredible. It feels as strong as Agatha's Gengar." "Of course," Kai said, raising 2 fingers in a peace sign. "If your Pokémon had lived for 2,000 years, they'd be just as powerful." "2,000 years? That's impossible." Lorelei gasped, thinking he was joking. After clearing the perimeter guards, they approached the warehouse's back entrance, only to trigger hidden infrared sensors. Alarms blared, and thick steel barriers dropped over every door. "I knew it wouldn't be that easy." Lorelei sighed, realizing stealth was no longer an option. She switched to a direct assault, sending a message for reinforcements while releasing her dugong to attack the back door. But the barriers were too tough. A raspy voice came through the intercom. "Lorelei? You won't get in without the access code." It's Petrol, Lorelei muttered, spotting a keypad near the door. You're trapped inside. Sooner or later, you'll run out of options. That's not true, Petrol sneered. Let's see if you can catch me. Kai noticed no sign of reinforcements and suspected Petrol had an escape plan. He sounds confident there's probably an escape route inside. Petrol's voice filled with resentment. I can't believe you're here too, haunting us. One day you'll fall into our hands. I look forward to it, Kai replied, but you should worry about yourself first. He signaled Haunter, who phased through the walls into the warehouse. Inside, chaos erupted as Team Rocket members panicked. Screams and sounds of battle echoed while Kai and the others stood outside, unable to see what was happening. Sparks flew from the keypad by the door until it finally short-circuited and powered down. With the security system disabled, Sabrina and Gardevoir used their psychic powers to pry open the heavy warehouse door. Lorelei, who had been struggling to find a way in, watched in amazement. You two are amazing. If I were alone, I'd still be stuck here, she exclaimed. Kai smirked. That's what having the right tools is about. Taking down Team Rocket, that's our specialty. Inside, Team Rocket members and their Pokémon lay defeated, but Petrol was missing. Could he have escaped? Lorelei wondered. They spotted hundreds of cages, some still holding poached Pokémon. Don't release them. It would waste time, Kai warned. We need to focus on catching Petrol. They searched the warehouse, finding several rooms before arriving at an office filled with monitors and a microphone. Kai noticed scuff marks on a filing cabinet, indicating it had been moved recently. He pushed it aside, revealing a hidden door with a staircase leading down. Looks like he escaped through here, Lorelei said, but Kai stopped her. Petrol's cunning. We should be careful. He signaled Haunter to scout ahead. After a moment, Haunter returned with an okay gesture, and they entered the hidden passage. The narrow tunnel was uneven, with shovel marks on the walls. Suddenly, Haunter alerted them to a trapdoor mechanism ahead. A trap. Lorelei exclaimed, shivering at the sight of jagged spikes below. This is why we're careful, Kai said, smiling faintly. They bypassed the trap and continued walking until the tunnel inclined upward, leading them into a dense forest. There he is! Lorelei shouted, spotting Petrol running away. He glanced back, his face paling, and tripped over a tree root, scrambling to escape. Kai signaled Gardevoir, who teleported in front of Petrol, blocking his path. Get out of my way, Petrol roared, releasing his Pokémon to stall Gardevoir. But with Haunter and Dugong, his Pokémon were quickly defeated. Desperate, Petrol reached a makeshift port with a speedboat. He untied it and jumped on, fumbling to start the engine. Just as he thought he'd made it, Sabrina's psychic powers lifted him and the boat off the water. Petrol screamed as he was dragged back to shore. When the boat crashed, he tumbled out. Before he could recover, Kai delivered a swift punch, knocking him out. Is he okay? Kai asked, flexing his fist. Lorelei inspected Petrol and smiled. He's fine, just out cold. With Petra captured, they prepared to return to the warehouse, but realized they lost track of the tunnel's exit. Thankfully, Lorelei remembered the way and guided them back toward the island's center. As they walked, they came across a stone tower resembling a Steelix's tail, with a gravestone at its base. Sabrina read the inscription aloud. Here lies Arion, in memory of my loyal partner. Arion must mean a Steelix, Lorelei explained. This is the Tower of Memories. Legend says a Steelix is buried beneath it. Kai gazed at the monument, feeling a deep sense of melancholy. When a Pokémon passes unexpectedly, the trainer must feel unimaginable pain, he murmured, clearing weeds around the gravestone. Lorelei and Sabrina watched silently, understanding his feelings. As Kai continued, he uncovered a small pile of stones, with a message etched on a rock. Thank you for your kindness, stranger. I have buried something here that may aid you. Curious, he revealed a metallic object that gleamed in the sunlight. What is this, he wondered. Sabrina and Lorelei joined him, and Lorelei recognized it immediately. This must be the legendary metal coat. Metal coat? Sabrina asked, surprised. It's a rare mineral used to evolve Onix into Steelix. It's a priceless treasure for trainers with an Onix, Lorelei explained. Kai marveled at the metal coat's weight and shine. Looks like clearing those weeds paid off. Not just for you, Lorelei added. Whoever buried this wanted it to be found by someone deserving, and clearly they were right.